Huskies, new to Division I, but their program is certainly on the rise under Randy Edsall. They are getting a new 40,000-seat stadium built in East Hartford. Obviously, they've been successful in a lot of other sports, winning national championships in basketball and in soccer. And so they figure to be a pretty good team in the Big East right away when they come into the conference, at least competitive. Saw Randy Edsall. There's Larry Coker, 16-0 in his second season as Miami head coach. The Hurricanes won the toss, and as is their custom, they are defending the second half, so Connecticut will receive. Today's kickoff is presented to you by KFC, who remind you that there's fast food, then there's KFC. Todd Seaver's kickoff with a 13-mile-per-hour wind at his back and knocks it well out of the end zone. First and 10 for the Huskies. Tonight's weather conditions, 84 degrees at kickoff, 79% relative humidity. The wind's out of the east. That is the open end of the stadium to your right as you watch at 13 miles per hour. Dan Orlovsky, the sophomore quarterback, will lead his team onto the field. He is a Connecticut-bred player, and there are his numbers on the season: over 1,000 yards in 5 games, 5 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. Orlovsky operates out of the shotgun. Chandler Poole getting the start at running back. Terry Cawley, their top runner, has been struggling with an injury, and he has not started the ball game. Chandler Poole with the ball, and he'll pick up 2 or 3 yards. Jerome McDougal, number 95, there on the tackle for the Miami defense, along with DJ Williams, number 17. Backs and receivers for UConn: Timko, Fel Dyson, Tommy Collins leads them with 17 catches. Cawley, as I said, did not get the start, and Dion Anderson is the fullback. Up front, Henry, Markowski, Irwin Preston, and Steve Cully.
And it hurts him having Cawley out. He's a guy that's come on strong for him. He's had 300-yard-plus games. Not a big back, but he's been the guy they've relied upon, and he's nicked and on the bench.
UConn spreads out the formation on a 2nd and 8. Orlovsky from the shotgun. 4-man rush for the Canes. Orlovsky steps up, throws, complete to Collins, his tight end. He'll have a first down out to the 38-yard line, where Greg Threet makes the tackle, the true freshman out of Tallahassee, Lincoln, who is getting the start in place of Sean Taylor in a disciplinary move. Here's the front four for the Canes: Jamal Green, Matt Walters, William Joseph, and Jerome McDougal. The linebackers: Howard Clark, Jonathan Vilma, and DJ Williams. And the defensive backs: Antrell Roll, Mo Sykes, Kelly Jennings, and as I mentioned, Greg Threet starting in place of Sean Taylor. Taylor is going to play, they say. In fact, I see him on the field right now. First and 10, UConn from their 39-yard line. Again, Orlovsky out of the shotgun. Over the middle, dropped and incomplete, intended for Williams. DJ Williams had the coverage on Jason Williams.
Well, we'll have to look in the manual and find out what exactly the violation that gets you a 2-play suspension, because Sean Taylor back in the ball game. So some type of suspension. Same thing with Kellen Winslow, the second, going to be out. You get a chance there to see Orlovsky. Big kid, 6'5", 225 pounds.
2nd and 10 after the incompletion. Dion Anderson and Chandler Poole flanking Orlovsky out of the shotgun. 2-back formation. This is Poole across the 40 and no further, as he is stuck by Jonathan Vilma after a gain of a yard.
Well, this is what Vilma does best. I mean, we could give a clinic on form tackling when you look at Jonathan Vilma, and you get a chance to see it here. He just comes up, reaches from the get-go, and watch the form, drives him right over, puts him on his back, not going to let him go anywhere.
Jonathan Vilma with 30 tackles on the year, 1 for a loss. Also has a pair of fumble recoveries for the Canes, 1 for a touchdown. He leads the team in tackles, as you would expect in this Miami defense from the middle linebacker.
It's designed to be that way, and they should be having a lot of tackles tonight, because UConn's O-line has 1 senior. The rest are all freshmen and sophomores.
It's a very young UConn team. It's 3rd and 9 from the 40. Orlovsky out of the shotgun. Under some heat. Tries to dump it off. Incomplete. Big pressure from the Hurricane defense in the form of William Joseph, number 94, who basically took his blocker and put him right back in the quarterback's lap.
Well, when all else is in doubt, if you can't get around the guy, just drive him over backwards. You get a chance to see it here. They just absolutely collapse the pocket. There's Big William taking them all down. Not a chance that this ball's ever going to get off.
So on to punt is Adam Coles, a 6'6", 224-pound junior from Gladesville, Australia, and ethnic Sands, number 7, back to receive.
This guy's a former Australian rules football player, and so I want to see if you know all the hand signals when he lets this go, Frank, because I've never quite figured out that game.
I've got Aussie football down pat.
Oh, do you? Good.
Yes, I do.
We'll see what happens.
Coles, the left footer, has it blocked. Blocked by Sean Taylor. And it will be Miami football inside the UConn 20.
Well, that did get some hand gestures from an Australian official somewhere, but that's what Miami likes to do best, and that's what you want to see really start to come along in special teams. They come after it big time.
Dorsey with tremendous field position at the UConn 17, and he'll throw on first down. Dumps it out to Willis McGahee. Got by one guy, but trips at the 15-yard line. Number 21, Jamal Lundy, the captain and outside linebacker, a senior from Burlington, New Jersey, made the tackle. There is Ken Dorsey and his numbers on the season. 11 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and his completion percentage is not tremendous. It's 54%. That's a little bit down, Dave, but you know, this is a guy who makes a lot of good checks at the line of scrimmage and a lot of good reads.
You know what he does? He wins ball games. I mean, that's what it comes down to, and a lot of people have been scrutinizing it because the numbers aren't there, but he's winning.
McGahee's first carry. Bounces to the outside. Nice cutback. Willis McGahee. That's what I'm talking about, Willis. 15-yard touchdown run. And with 12:04 left to go in the first quarter, Miami already leads it 6-0.
One of the big question marks I had coming into this, Frank, was would Miami be flat? They had an off week. They've got Florida State next week, and you're afraid they're looking past Connecticut. Maybe they come out there a little sluggish. I don't think so.
Harvey with the snap. Freddie Capshaw with the hold. Todd Seaver's now 25 out of 26 on extra points this season. And with 12 minutes and 4 seconds remaining this year.
You know, that one's pretty easy. It takes 2 plays, 41 seconds. That's only 12 yards. It's a run by McGahee. He takes it in. Todd Seaver's kicking the extra point, so they jump out to it very quickly to set the tempo so far.
Seaver's again with the wind behind him, and he'll easily knock this one through the end zone again.
Guy in the third row almost caught that one.
Let's take a look at the touchdown once again. Bread and butter Miami running play, Dave.
Well, and it doesn't seem to get much easier. They actually, you just see it up front. Great blocking by Winston, the tight end here. To kick it out. McGahee's just very patient. Makes the one move here to cut back in. Then he goes in untouched from there. But it's just everybody reach blocking up front. But again, you see them able to stay on their feet, get the movement. And when you have a back like McGahee, if you can tie him up, he's going to find the seam.
First down, Connecticut from their 20. They go with 3 wide receivers, and Miami counters with their nickel defensive package, bringing Al Marshall in as an extra DB and taking the strong side linebacker Howard Clark out of the game. This is the backup tailback, and he'll pick up 6 yards. Chris Bellamy with the carry. So trying to make up for the absence of Terry Cawley, who is averaging 5.1 per carry. 446 yards coming into the game. He did warm up. He's apparently not good to go.
Yeah, he was dressed, and it would have been fun to see him because he has started things very well for them. Not a big kid. He's 5'7", nicknamed him Mighty Mouse or Squeak. So, you know, not an intimidating.
Bellamy remains in the game as the lone running back as Orlovsky on a 2nd and 4 goes out of the shotgun. In the middle, complete. And loose football, Canes come up with it. Or they're calling him down. They're calling him down.
Calling him down.
Schoenfeld Dyson made the catch. And they rule him down by contact at the 38-yard line, a pickup of 12. And a UConn first down. Antrell Roll stripped the football out. Referee tonight, Tom DeJoseph, another new face. 2nd week in a row, we're seeing a new Big East officiating.
Well, he gets some time here, and then we're going to see if he pulls it out or not. They got a hold of him here. Oh, I tell you. He may be new. Maybe he didn't see that one because that looked like it came out before he got on the ground.
Here's a first down at the 38-yard line. Again, Orlovsky out of the shotgun. Throws again complete. And out to the 47-yard line, where Williams makes the catch.
Orlovsky was the high school player of the year in Maryland last year, and you see it. He's got nice poise back there. He's a big, strong kid, very confident, standing tall in the pocket and moving the team a little bit. They're going to bring all kinds of pressure on him, and that's where we're going to see whether he's got the ability to respond.
Connecticut kid, as I mentioned, from Shelton, Connecticut, decided to stay home. Correction, the last catch by Brandon Young, number 83. So it's 2nd and 2 after the 8-yard gain. Again, Orlovsky out of the shotgun. Bellamy with the football. Bellamy will have a first down to midfield. Jonathan Vilma tackles him there. Picked up for 4 yards, and it's a first down for UConn at midfield.
Very interesting, Frank. They've taken a page out of BC's playbook, and that is taking a lot of time running that clock down. They want to chew as much time as they can when you see the 25-second clock. he's got a lot of time. He's going to let it run down. They figure if they can keep Miami's offense off the field, they're going to be better off.
First down, UConn. A length of the football inside Miami territory. 9:44 to go first quarter. Miami leads at 7-0. Keon Anderson now in at fullback. True freshman as they line up in the I for the first time. And Bellamy with the football. He'll go down for a loss of 2. Again, Jonathan Vilma coming through to lay the smackdown on Chris Bellamy.
We'll talk about him a lot tonight because we're going to call his name a lot tonight. But Jonathan Vilma, as soon as he sees that run and finds a gap, and you'll see it here, he comes through like just a banshee come through. Sees the seam, watch, bang, there he comes. He's in the backfield making that play, and you see Maurice Sykes, the safety up there as well. So a lot of run support coming up for Miami.
2nd and 12. That is more of Connecticut's base offense, is the I formation. They've run a little more spread tonight than they normally do because Collins, the tight end, is their leading receiver. Dyson in motion. Orlovsky, quick throw, complete to Dyson, Miami territory, and he's finally run out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Picked up 17 yards, and that is a Husky first down. Al Marshall had to run him out of bounds.
It's been effective. What UConn wants to do here is sort of almost a dink offense, kind of spread them out a little bit. These are all little short passes. You watch, he's the motion guy right here. He's just going to drop down the flats. It's a quick throw. Picks up the first down for him. So, I mean, they're just kind of dinking away at it, not trying to throw the ball downfield, but doing it very successfully so far.
Randy Edsall's team down 7-0, 8:45 to go first quarter. Anderson and Bellamy in the eye behind Orlovsky. 3 wide receivers, no tight end for the Huskies in this offensive set. Bellamy with the football. Picked up a couple of yards. Jamal Green, number 55, combining with Al Marshall, number 25, on the tackle. Ball placed at the Miami 33-yard line.
They're going to just try to chip away and see if they get down here and get some points on the board. You know, I mean, it's a no-lose situation for UConn. They come down here. If they get beat by 50, they were supposed to. So they can let it all out. And you're sure Randy Edsall had this team in the locker room before saying, hey, just let it go. There's nothing to worry about.
2nd and 8 at the Miami 33. Bellamy the only running back behind Orlovsky under center.
And
movement on the left tackle, number 68, Mike Henry, a freshman from Miami's Monsignor Pace High School.
That fresh.
False start. Offense, 5 yards. 2nd down.
That freshman looked up and saw DJ Williams walk up to the line there, twitching a little bit, and said, "Oh, I better get on my horse to get back," and just a little too soon.
This is a very young football team, as we mentioned, across the offensive front. Freshman, sophomore, freshman, senior.
Doesn't instill a lot of confidence in you. I mean, you can have kids come into a program and see them play, but rarely do you see offensive linemen come in and have the ability. They've got to learn the schemes. They've got to develop a little bit. So when you see young kids thrown in there like that, not a good sign. Will be in a couple of years.
Bunch receivers to the right side of the formation. Orlovsky out of the shotgun. On 2nd and long. 4-man rush for the Canes, and they get to him. Jerome McDougal with the sack. His 2nd of the season. The senior out of Pompano Beach, Florida, 6'2", 271-pounder. We mentioned he had 48 hurries last year and 7 sacks. He said, I want to turn some of those hurries into sacks, so he's got number 2.
Well, you'll see Orlovsky here pull it down, and when he does, he's going to pull it down right into the arms of McDougal. We'll take a look at it here. Watch, he looks downfield, then decides to pull it down, said, well, I better do this. Oh, it's over. You're not going to get much time against that front 7.
McDougal beating the senior Steve Cully, number 79, for the quarterback sack. It's 3rd and 20 from the Miami 45. On the draw to Bellamy, met by DJ Williams, who tries to strip the football unsuccessfully, but holds it to a gain of a yard.
We talked about DJ last week, and I mean, here's a kid, Frank, really starting to come into his own as a linebacker. And, you know, last year you see it here, again, great closing, great open field tackle, tries to pull it out at the end. But here's a kid that's finally filling into that role. You know, he's not a fullback anymore or anything else. He's playing all linebacker, and he's playing it well.
Adam Cole's on to punt. His first one was blocked. Ethnic Sand stands at the Miami 10-yard line. 6:20 and the clock moving here in the first quarter. Coles hangs it up into the wind. Sands lets it hit at the 20, touched at the 15-yard line. And that's where they're going to bring it back to, as it was touched by Jason De La Selva. And Miami will take over with a 1st and 10 in their own territory. 6 minutes and 3 seconds left to go. First quarter here in the Orange Bowl. It's Miami 7, Connecticut nothing. 6:03 left to go first quarter here in the Orange Bowl. Miami, the #1 team in the country, leading Connecticut 7-0. Canes take over 1st and 10 at their 15-yard line. Standard personnel group on offense for the Canes. Quad Hill at fullback, McGahee the tailback, and that's Willis McGahee. Slips a tackle at the 20 and will pick up a dozen out to the 27-yard line. Number 52, Tyler King, defensive end, making the tackle. Here's a look at the Canes offensively. McGahee and Hill in the backfield. Kevin Beard, Andre Johnson, and Eric Winston starting in place of the disciplined Kellen Winslow II at tight end. Front line of Joseph McGrath starting in place of Sherko Haji Rasuli, whose knee is acting up a little bit, although Sherko's in the game right now. Romberg, Myers, and Carey. 1st and 10 from the 27. Give again to McGahee. Tries to bounce outside. Got away from one tackle. Cutting across the grain and picks up yardage out to the 36-yard line. He got 9. Jamal Lundy, number 21, the outside linebacker, and Greg Smoot, number 55, defensive tackle, making the play.
Well, we've given a lot of credit to the offensive line all night. Let's give it to McGahee here because he just makes something out of nothing. You know, reversing field, you see guys still continuing to block, but that's all Maurice McGahee.
Parrish and Sands now in at wide receiver. Willis McGahee at running back. His numbers on the year, over 500 yards and very gaudy per carry average at 7.8. And 2nd and 1, McGahee again. He'll have a 1st down up to the 41-yard line. Number 22, Terrence Smith, the safety, making the tackle, but it'll be a Miami 1st down with 4:55 to play in this first quarter. Here's the UConn defense. Tyler King, Greg Smoot, Sean Mulcahy, and Owe Osunde up front. Lundy, Fincher, and Lloyd are the linebackers, with a secondary of Hopkins, Chris Meyer, Terrence Smith, and Marlon Jones.
Meyer's a kid they really like in that secondary. He was their MVP last year, led the team in tackles, and they expect a lot more of the same this year.
1st and 10, Miami goes with 3 wideouts. Sands, Beard, and Johnson. No tight end in this formation. Dorsey. Complete on the outside to Ethnic Sands in UConn territory at the 46-yard line. Chris Meyer there to make the tackle, number 5. But it is a Miami 1st down.
Take a look at it here. Ethnic Sands is just going to come downfield and hook back, coming back to the ball. Dorsey does a nice job putting it right on the money. And Sands trying to make a little something extra here out of it, but unable to do so.
14-yard pickup for Ethnic Sands. Senior out of Carroll City, a 6-footer, 178-pounder. His numbers on the year. And a couple of touchdowns. 1st and 10 from the 46. Dorsey with play action. Shoot down the middle. What a catch. Nice job, Andre Johnson. A great shot by Ken Dorsey as he shoots it right down the seam. And another Miami 1st down as they mark it at the 15-yard line. Marlon Jones had the coverage.
I think Ken Dorsey may want to show a few people that have been criticizing, saying that he hasn't been throwing the ball that well, that yet he can still zing it. Right down the middle of the field here. They do a nice job giving him time on the play action. And this is just a strike right in stride for Andre Johnson. Trying to get it right up the middle of the field. Shoestring tackle.
31-yard gain.
See it here coming right at you. Nice strike. Perfect throw and catch.
1st down, Canes at the 15-yard line. McGahee with big room, and Willis McGahee is just going to walk into the end zone. That is what I'm talking about, Willis, his 2nd of the night. And Miami leads it 13-0 with 3:34 left to go in the 1st period.
We get a chance to take a look at this. You'll see Kevin Beard makes this happen. They get great blocking up front, but it's the receivers downfield we've talked about. Kevin Beard making the final block, and that allows McGahee to go in untouched. Hell, he would have scored if this were flag football.
Seavers on for the extra point out of Capshaw's hold, and Todd knocks it up and through. And with 3:34 remaining in the first quarter of play, it's 14-0 Miami. And look how the offensive line just walls it off there.
Oh, yeah, but here's Kevin Beard downfield, makes it all happen at the end. But, yeah, everybody's just got this thing sealed. I mean, great push up front. He bends it back. This is originally designed to go to the left. They over-pursue it. He does a nice job cutting it back and then walks it in.
And you saw Kevin Beard handling the defensive back, who was the only guy who could have kept McGahee from the end zone. 6-play drive, 85 yards in 2 minutes and 29 seconds. And, you know, for Miami's offense, Dave, that's an eternity. because coming into the ball game,
what was it, 121, I think?
123 of their 23 offensive touchdowns, the drive time averaged 123.
Well, the first drive they had tonight took, what, 14 seconds, so they're working on keeping that average going.
Willis McGahee, again, very productive for the Canes. He had 4 touchdowns rushing against Temple, and the first quarter's not over. He's got 2, which has jacked him up to 9 on the season.
Well, it's been an impressive year, and you got to give a lot of credit to those guys up front because they really have taken a lot of pride in the ability to run block. And McGahee is just really coming on strong and stronger as the season goes on.
McGahee, 5 carries, 56 yards so far in this game, 2 touchdowns, and 11.2 average.
We got a little extra wind. Seaver's having a hard time getting this ball to stay on the tee.
Well, isn't the 3 knockdown rule in effect? If it falls off the tee 3 times, somebody has to hold it?
I think so. They got to come out here and get a finger on it.
Jason Della Selva is the deep return man. On 2 previous kickoffs, Seavers has not given him any chance to bring it out. And they won't have a chance to return this one either. Hits on the back line of the end zone, bounces out for the touchback, and for the 3rd time in a row, Connecticut will start at their 20-yard line.
Give Seaver some credit. I mean, he's got a little wind in his back, no question, but it is one of the things that they do so well, and a lot of times taken for granted. When you can kick it deep like that, just take any return out of question. I mean, it's such a great stat to be able to just either pin them deep with the coverage that you've got to make them start on their 20 every time.
And how big have special teams been in so many college football games so far this year? Earlier this week, Clemson basically hands Florida State 21 points on a Thursday night game.
I think you see how important, how bad special teams can hurt you.
Exactly. Huskies 1st and 10 from their 20. Chandler Poole, the running back, flanking Orlovsky in the shotgun. Poole with the football. Bounces off his own blocker. He'll go down for a loss of a yard. Big Vince Wilfork, number 75, had him around the ankles. His 7th tackle for a loss this season.
He just, he just takes this offensive lineman, drives him over backwards, then reaches around and grabs everybody. I mean, he's just fun to watch. And I mean, they got him listed there 6'2", 350. And again, that's a questionable 350. But look at the penetration right here. Drives the lineman right back into the back and then reaches around to get him. He's fun to watch.
He definitely is. 2nd and 11 for the Huskies. 3 wideouts flanked to the left, the top portion of your screen. Orlovsky looks to throw. Fires complete to Wes Timko, taken down at the 27-yard line by Kelly Jennings. They picked up close to 8. It'll be 3rd and about 4 for the Huskies.
Well, Jennings is always easy to spot because they've got that thumb so well padded you can see it from here, when he's got that thing going. But, had problems with it, but he's come on and played very, very well. And look at the size of that cast.
Yeah, that was a tendon injury.
You can hitchhike from here to California with that real easily,
Had a surgery on it to put pins in it. And he's been playing with the cast all season. 3rd and a short 4 for the Huskies. 2:04 left to go first quarter. And Orlovsky calls timeout.
Something he didn't like Miami's defense. So he figured he better call a timeout.
Well, let's talk a little bit about this defense, Dave, because, coming into the season, we mentioned it in the open, all the questions surrounding the secondary. And certainly it helps when you've got a front 7 like Miami that can put pressure on a passer. That helps your secondary grow up in a hurry.
It does, but one of the interesting things, and there was Larry Coker talking earlier this week about the secondary, and talked about it and said, look, it's a complex scheme, but the way, admittedly, you got to have talent. And then he talked about what they do when they recruit these kids. He likes to go watch them run track. I mean, these are kids that can all fly. And if you've got that ability to run the way they do, then they got to just pick up the scheme. And I mean, every one of these kids has picked it up well, but that's really what it is. You're so loaded talent speed-wise that if you pick up the scheme, it's going to work out well for you.
And at least from my standpoint, there was never any question about the talent in the secondary. It was simply a matter of game experience.
Right.
We didn't know what they were going to do when they got in there in the first quarter against a Rex Grossman up in Florida. Well, they certainly passed that test with flying colors. Obviously, there's more tests yet to come. Next week, Florida State, and for all the fire Chris Ricks has been under from Seminoles fans, he's still a quality quarterback and a guy who can hurt you.
Well, he can, and look, you get Bobby Bowden, and they've got since last night to start working on this. God knows what we're going to see out of that offense.
It's 14-0 Miami. 3rd down, about 4 to go for the Huskies. Play fake. Orlovsky under pressure over the middle, incomplete. As looking to hit Jason Williams, who was well covered by both Vilma and DJ Williams.
Yeah, well, he was going to hit him, but he was hitting him with a cannon. He threw this ball a little hard at this kid. You know, this was never going to happen. He was just trying to get rid of it, and I mean, he guns it, forcing them to come up with another punch situation.
Roscoe Parrish back to receive for the Hurricanes.
This will get the crowd going a little bit if Roscoe gets a hold of one.
Roscoe's an exciting player. There's no question about that. Adam Coles stands back inside his 15. Miami has already blocked a punt in this game, set up their first touchdown. Tommy Collins, the tight end, is the long snapper. Coles left foots it out of there. Nice kick against the wind. This is Parrish at his 33. You can hear the crowd. Flag down at the 38. They may bring this one back. Here goes Roscoe inside the 40. Roscoe still going. Finally shoved out inside the 15-yard line, but again, there's a flag back at the Miami 38.
Well, I told you it'd be exciting. They're going to probably bring it back, but man, is he fun to watch when he gets the ball.
Julio Sunday made the tackle out of bounds, and you see the penalty indication from referee Tom DeJoseph. I keep saying it, Dave. This guy's like mercury that's been let out of a thermometer.
It's just fun. He just kind of scoots and gets all over now. I mean, very, very explosive. Great initial first step, and you know, you talked about it before, Frank. He runs scared, not in a derogatory sense, but
during the return, holding on the return team, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
That'll bring it back to the Miami 28-yard line. We'll take another look at the return, see if we can pick it up. It's probably the first guy downfield.
Well, you're going to see it.
There's the hold right there on the left side of the screen.
Yeah.
Didn't quite pick up the number. It looked like it might have been Greg 328. But he was a little far away for us to pick up the number on the replay. But it clearly was a hold. He got his hand around behind the Connecticut player and basically grabbed the name on the back of the jersey.
It's hard when you get a guy that returns like that, that's all over the field, though, because you wind up reaching, grabbing, pushing because he keeps cutting back.
First and 10 Canes. Eric Winston lined up as an H-back, fullback. And here's Dorsey with a pump fake. And he's going long and throws incomplete. Intended for Kevin Beard, who was double-teamed and well covered by both Marlon Jones and Chris Meyer.
I think there may have been some miscommunication because Beard didn't look like he was trying to take off on that. Dorsey looked like he wanted to throw it over the top. And I'm not quite sure where the mishap was there, but Kenny, you know, smartly throws this thing away where nobody can get to it.
Minute 33 to go in the first quarter. Canes up 14-0. They've scored both previous times that they've had the football.
Well, and it's been McGahee padding onto his TD stats as he takes both of them in.
Kellen Winslow is in the game as a tight end. Eric Winston lined up as an H-back, and we had movement before the snap.
Yeah, unfortunately, McGrath got his hand up off the ground on that.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty, second down.
Sherko Haji Rasuli, who played the last series. Sherko, of course, has been bothered by soreness in his knees, which have been surgically repaired. And there is McGrath, the 6'5", 292-pound junior, out of one of my favorite places, at least to talk about, Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan.
Sounds like a nice place, you know. Actually, they are looking at the UCONN roster. They've got 5 kids from Canada as well.
Yes, they do. Second and 15 for the Canes. And Dorsey to throw under pressure. Fires to Andre Johnson at the 35. And Johnson tackled by a host of Huskies led by Ray Hopkins, number 7. That'll be a 13-yard gain. And it'll bring up a 3rd and 2.
That'll give you a little indication of the strength of Andre Johnson because it took 5 guys from UConn to try to get him down. You'll see it here. They're coming on a late blitz. Dorsey will get rid of it. Johnson does a nice job going up to catch. But watch this. Here's 1. Here's 2. No, he's not going down. 3, 4, 5. And, well, now they got him down. You know?
3rd and 2 for the Hurricanes. They send 3 wide receivers into the formation. McGahee, the only running back. Dorsey, 3-step drop. Complete to Ethnic Sands. This will be a first down out near midfield as he's ushered out of bounds by Ezra Carey, the backup cornerback. They mark it just shy of the 50. And Miami will move the sticks with 43 seconds left to go in the first quarter.
Gives you a little idea of Miami's speed, too, as well. What looks like just a quick little out, you know, turns into a big, 14-yard gain because of the speed once he gets the ball out there and what these receivers can do once they catch it.
First down Canes. Dave mentioned a gain of 14 yards on the last play. Ball just past the Miami 49-yard line. That's McGahee with the football. Got a seam and gains 9. Terrence Smith, the safety, number 22, had to make the tackle. It'll be 2nd and 1 for the Hurricanes if they get another playoff before the end of this first quarter.
Miami's offense clearly showing that they want to come out and kind of flex the muscle early on this game. They didn't want to get into a situation where you leave UConn hanging around, and they've been able to do everything they've wanted to so far offensively, throwing the ball and running.
2nd and a yard. Might be a good time to go deep with the wind at their back. Last play of the first quarter, perhaps. Flag down. Dorsey throwing incomplete for Roscoe Parrish at the 20-yard line. Roy Hopkins had the coverage. And we'll check out the marker. Clock stopped with 4 seconds left to go in the first quarter.
Illegal shift on the offense. 2 men moving at the same time. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down.
There was all that talk of Canada. We got him into the multiple shifting.
That 12 guy, you could go in motion toward the line of scrimmage type of thing.
Not allowed to have 2 of them moving at the same time.
By the way, I love that rule where you can go forward in motion before the snap. I love that rule.
Canadian and arena football.
Yeah, you know? I love it. I think they should put it in American football.
It'd give you a head start, that's for sure.
Well, that's interesting. Connecticut declined the penalty, bringing up a 3rd and 1.
Yeah, you know, that one doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
So it'll be 3rd and a yard from just inside the UConn 42. And he comes with a double wide receiver to the left, bottom of your screen. Sands and Beard in the slot. Dorsey will throw for the first down. Got Sands complete at the 30-yard line, taken down by Hopkins. But it's a gain of 12 and another Hurricane first down as the first quarter comes to an end. We played 15 minutes here at the Orange Bowl. First quarter is in the books at the OB. After 1 period of play, it's Miami 14, University of Connecticut nothing. We'll be right back with second quarter action here on Fox Sports Net. From the Orange Bowl, Willis McGahee has both touchdowns for the Canes as they're up 14. Party with irreverent skits, insightful interviews, and sharp locker room banter. It's the best damn sports show, period. Watch the Unscripted Insanity weeknights at 8 and 10 right here on Fox Sports Net. Frank Fort and Dave Heffernan with you on Fox Sports Net, bringing you Hurricane football as the Canes take on the UConn Huskies. And Dave, I understand you were very good at the sharp locker room banter.
Yeah, that was the witty repartee and sharp locker room banter.
Well, it was all in your training to become an attorney.
You know, but I have a hard time. It's hard to have sharp banter with a bunch of big naked guys. You know, I mean, it just doesn't work.
Okay, that's more information than we need. First down, Canes, as we begin the second quarter at the UConn 29. Fake to McGahee. Dorsey's pass complete to Beard, bumped out of bounds by Hopkins, and they'll mark it at the 11-yard line. A pickup of 18 and another Miami first down.
Kenny doing a nice job throwing the ball tonight, looking sharp. You know, and there's been a lot of talk, and I guess only in this town, Frank, can there be criticism when you're the #1 team in the country, but people are getting on Dorsey. You know, is he the best player on the team or not, and all the Heisman hype. But, you know, the one thing the kid is, he's a leader, and he takes his offense, and he takes it and runs it, you know, better than anybody we've seen almost in the history of this school when you look at the wins.
Well, Larry Coker's defense is a pretty simple one. Try it without him.
Exactly.
1st and 10 from the 11. Pitch to McGahee. Behind a Quad Hill block, cuts it back. Willis looking for touchdown number 3 on the night, and he's got it. From 11 yards out, Willis McGahee scores one more time. 13 seconds, or I make it 13 seconds, that's right, into the second quarter, and it's Miami 20, UConn nothing.
We talked about Quad Hill in the beginning of the show, and again, great lead block. We'll see when we get a chance to look at it in a little bit. Great lead block, and that's what makes it happen for him. And McGahee, you know, just prances straight on in for the 3rd TD.
Chris Harvey will snap it. Freddie Capshaw with the hold, and Severs puts his 3rd extra point of the night up and through the uprights. And with 14:47 to go in the second quarter, it has been the Willis McGahee Show. 3 touchdowns for the sophomore running back out of Miami Central High School, and it's Miami 21, UConn nothing. We'll be right back here on Fox Sports Net. Willis McGahee's 3rd touchdown of the night with 14:47 left to go in the second quarter has pushed Miami's lead to 21-0. It was an 8-play, 72-yard drive taking a minute 52 off the clock. Todd Severs will kick it off. Jason De La Selva back to receive for Connecticut. He'll have a shot at this one from the goal line. De La Selva got a seam. Todd Severs couldn't make the tackle. Finally chased out of bounds by Sonoris Moss up at the 47-yard line. Good return by De La Selva. Gives the Huskies their best field position of the night.
We talked about how important it is to be able to pin them back, and you see it right there. You know, they get it out to midfield on this, and it's a great return, you know, for UConn to be able to start at midfield. And, you know, that's the kind of thing that you take away when you put a ball deep in the end zone.
Let's take another look at the McGahee touchdown, and look how sharp the cutback is by McGahee.
Well, you see the patience, too. I mean, he waits for the block. There's a block by Quad Hill, and he waits for it, lets it develop, and then goes through. And that's one of the things Donnie Solinger talked about. He's such a strong back. He wanted to see him start using those skills versus just running over people.
Bellamy and Anderson in the eye behind Orlovsky on 1st and 10 from the Husky 47. Fake to Bellamy. Orlovsky throws to his fullback Anderson, who's taken down right away at the Miami 48-yard line by Al Marshall. Pickup of 7.
Nice stick by Al Marshall. We'll see it here. Not much of a play fake. I mean, they don't even come close on this one, kind of sliding into second base deal, but big hit right as soon as he gets it, and Al Marshall closes in on it. But you're seeing they're going to stick with that game plan, just kind of a little dink game plan to try to chew the clock up and throw little dink passes underneath. It's been effective.
2nd and 4 at the Hurricane 47. Three wide outs in for UConn. Collins the tight end, no fullback. 2nd down. It's Bellamy, picked up only a yard. Cornelius Green, number 98, slicing in from his defensive end position to make the tackle. Cornelius having a nice year. 3 tackles for loss, a couple of sacks coming into the game.
He just takes him out by the feet here. He comes in kind of submarines and hold him to a very minimal gain.
It'll be 3rd and a short 3 for the Huskies. 13-19 left to go in this second quarter. Miami with a 21-0 lead.
And he will run this clock down under 5 on all of these snaps, just to chew the time up.
Anderson and Bellamy alongside Orlovsky, who operates out of the shotgun on a 3rd and short. Quarterback draw. He'll have a 1st down and slides under the tackle of Maurice Sykes at the Miami 38-yard line.
Good call by UConn. You know, Miami likes to tee those defensive ends up and get them hard upfield. You'll see it here. We go to the 4-man line. Here they come hard upfield. You see that open up right in the middle for him. He gets enough for the 1st down and then smartly gets down.
Pickup was 8, and it's a Husky 1st down at the Miami 38-yard line. 12:48 left to go. Randy Edsall's team trying to work their way back into this ball game. As it was called today on national TV, a classic David versus Goliath matchup. Dyson in motion. Orlovsky looking for a secondary target, and off the hands of Collins, the tight end, DJ Williams, disrupted the play. Orlovsky took quite a shot, looked like from Orion Harris, number 92, redshirt freshman defensive tackle.
Orlovsky's going to pay for it, and you see it here. Yeah, Orion Harris is the one that does come kind of level him after the throw here. It's a good throw, though. I mean, he puts it in one place that Miami can't get to it, but his receiver can't hang on to it either.
Maurice Sykes nearly had a chance at an interception after it came off Collins' hand. On a 2nd and 10. Again, UConn operates with 3 wide receivers, a tight end, no fullback, and Bellamy is the running back. Orlovsky steps back into the shotgun. Under pressure, sacked by Wilfork, loose football. Canes have it, Andrew Williams at the 50. Andrew Williams, he's at the 30. Andrew Williams trying to take it to the house, and the senior from Tampa, Florida, scores a Miami touchdown, their 3rd defensive score of the season, and it's 27-0 Miami.
Well, that one gets down to a foot race between a defensive lineman and an offensive lineman, and I hate to admit it as an offensive lineman. My money's on the D lineman, okay? They take it to the house, and again, it's Wilfork, and nothing fancy. This is just a 4-man rush, but a young, inexperienced offensive line. Wilfork knocks the ball out, and then off to the races.
3rd defensive touchdown for the Canes this year. Of course, that's been their specialty over the last 2 seasons.
Well, they got to catch up to try to get it on pace the way it was last year, because last year led the country in scoring off of them.
2000, they had 13 non-offensive scores, either special teams or defense. Last year, it was 11 scores. Vince Wilfork knocked it loose, and big Andrew Williams, number 99, showing some wheels. For the fourth time tonight, Seaver's extra point try is true. And with 12:15 left to go second quarter, Miami leads it 28-0. That's got to be demoralizing for UConn. Dave, we take another look at it very quickly. Wilfork with the sack, and Andrew Williams with the recovery. It's 28-0 Canes. First touchdown of Andrew Williams, Miami Hurricane career. The Canes lead by 4 touchdowns. He's 6'4", 262 pounds, a senior out of Tampa, Hillsborough High, Andrew Williams, and he has his first touchdown as a Miami Hurricane, a 56-yard fumble recovery after the sack and the forced fumble by Vince Wilfork. And Andrew Williams shows off his wheels as the Canes have a 28-0 lead.
It's a pretty nice 1-2 punch between he and Wilfork to get it going there, and Williams taking the house, going 56 yards with that. And we've seen Miami do everything that they should tonight so far. I mean, we've seen good offensive play. We've seen solid defense. We've seen the block punt. We've seen the special teams. I mean, everything is firing well.
Seavers will kick it as Sonoris Moss has to come in and hold it. Kickoff sailing toward the far sideline and out of bounds. Illegal procedure on the Hurricanes, and Connecticut will take over at their 35. 12:09 left to go in the second quarter.
You know, Larry Coker was worried earlier this week in one of the early practices. Thought they were a little flat, really lit it up underneath them. Started to talk about upsets and how they happen all the time. And, you know, as you said, this is the David and Goliath. You know, UConn's got nothing to lose coming in this ball game. I mean, so
let's look again at the sack by Wilfork and the fumble recovery by Williams.
It's just a bull rush here by Mitch and Vince, and then he just, great job coming with the right hand, knocking it down. And there goes Andrew Williams. And like I said, he's got one lineman's got a chance of catching him. That ain't going to happen.
Miami's defenders, they've been schooled and they've been trained, and they have the mentality that when the ball's on the ground, they're trying to pick it up and score.
Oh, yeah. If they can turn it over, everything, they're going to the house with it, or trying to.
And they've got good enough athletes to do it, certainly. From the 35, 1st and 10. Jason Williams in motion across the formation. Orlovsky under pressure. Delivers complete to Deion Anderson, the fullback. He's bumped out of bounds. They'll mark it just shy of the 40-yard line. Pickup of about 4. Reese Sykes making the tackle.
Now, what you're going to have to do, and it's what you see teams do to take it away from Miami, are the draws, the screens, the little swing passes like that to try to slow down Miami's defensive linemen. Look at Orlovsky's number, 7 of 11. He's had a pretty good night so far because he's thrown very high percentage passes.
Well, they're trying to keep him confident and giving him, you know, easy, what you would call easy completions.
Right.
So he keeps his head in the game, doesn't get discouraged going against this defense. 2nd and about 6. Cliff Hill in motion. It's Chandler Poole. He's going nowhere. Jamal Green, number 55, the senior out of Camden, New Jersey, takes him down for a loss of 2.
Good chance to see a little bit of the wingspan of Jamal Green as he's tied up with the offensive tackle a little bit. Poole tries to kick it outside. He just kind of spreads his arms and engulfs him. Watch this here. He comes down hard. He's tied up here. Watch his arm come out. Whoop, swing around, kind of engulf him and take him down.
Now, Miami, of course, blessed with incredible depth across the defensive front. And when you think that a guy like Cornelius Green and Vince Wilfork, they're not the starters. They're the second group. And, of course, they rotate in. So they all get a pretty much equal amount of snaps. 3rd and 7 from the UConn 38. Out of the shotgun. Incomplete. Looking for Brandon Young, number 83, covered by Antrell Roll at the 40-yard line. You see Orlovsky getting helped off the deck.
They roll in and out. The other thing that does, Frank, is it keeps them absolutely fresh. I mean, you know, you're only going to get a limited amount of plays, so you're going to play half of them so these guys can just let it all go.
So on 4th and 7 with 11:14 to go second quarter, Randy Edsall's team will have to kick it away again. Coles, the Australian, in to kick, and Ethnic Sands, the return man for Miami.
I like this punter because he may be the only kid that's skinnier than Dorsey.
Oh, bad snap. Coles trying to use some of his Aussie football rules, gets the punt away, and that's a great job.
Wow.
Of course, he is fair game. He was hit, but he is fair game once the snap goes over his head. The ball dead at the Miami 38-yard line. So a great job by Coles. Great thing he knows Australian football. Otherwise, that would have been disaster. It's 28-0 Miami. UM Athletic Director Paul D on the sidelines watching his team with a 28-0 lead over the Connecticut Huskies. And Paul thinks Connecticut's going to be a pretty competitive team in the conference in a relatively short period of time once they joined the league in 2005. On first down, Jason gathers with his first carry of the night. Jason picks up about 5 yards to the Hurricane 43-yard line.
You talked a little bit a while ago about that, Frank, and you look at the way they've run their program, and they've got a smaller stadium, and they're wearing patches. We'll see it later on their jerseys. It's the 50th Memorial, or 50th year Memorial Stadium. They're building a brand new stadium. They've continued to sell that one out, so they're doing everything right. They're going to get a big stadium. They're going to get everything going, and put $91 million into a new stadium up there. So they're serious about their football.
Second and a long 5 for Miami. Dorsey. Complete to Andre Johnson, skips a tackle at the 48 and shoved out of bounds in Connecticut territory at the 45-yard line by Jamal Lundy, the linebacker. Well, there's been a lot of talk about Heisman, and Ken Dorsey, of course, was in the top 3 last year. But Willis McGahee certainly has put himself into the picture this season with a very productive first part of the season. I mean, you can see the 8.1 average and now currently 10 touchdowns. That's up to date.
I mean, the 8.1 average, you might see that after a game or two, but, we're halfway into the season, and it's going up. It was a little less than that before that. It's getting higher and higher.
Gain on the last play was 12 yards. First down at the Connecticut 45. Dorsey looking to go deep. And it is intercepted at the 5-yard line. Roy Hopkins picked off the pass intended for Roscoe Parrish.
This was underthrown. I mean, it's a good job by Hopkins, but this is clearly just a ball that's underthrown. Hopkins has got good position inside out. We'll take a look at it here. Dorsey's got the time here. Ain't nothing but just doing a takeoff on the outside, and this ball hangs up. Good position by Hopkins, playing it inside out. It's right there.
And remember, he is throwing into a 13-mile-an-hour wind. It's the 5th interception suffered by Dorsey this season against 11 touchdowns. He placed the ball at the Connecticut 5-yard line. Hopkins, not exactly a big guy, but Roscoe Parrish is one of those mini Smurf receivers.
Yeah, it wasn't a battle of the Giants down there by any stretch.
Yeah, they listed Hopkins at 5'7", 180. First down from the 5. Bellamy is the running back for UConn. And Bellamy's got the football. And the Canes have him after a gain of a yard. Jerome McDougal and Jonathan Vilma combining on the tackle.
Jonathan Vilma gets a hold of you, you're not going to go much anywhere. I mean, this kid, and we talk about the ability to tackle in the open field, just does a nice job of wrapping up, and then him and McDougal stalemate this the whole thing, almost dead at the line of scrimmage.
Gain was a yard, 2nd and 9. Ball just outside the 6-yard line. 9:33 and the clock moving here in the second quarter. From his end zone, chased by Matt Walters, nearly had it picked off by William Joseph. Big Will hunting, and he almost got himself an interception.
He had no idea where that ball was, though. I'm not sure where it hit on him, but that ball was almost hovering above his head. He didn't know where it was.
Joseph came into the game with 10 tackles, 5 of those for losses, including a couple of sacks. Right in the noggin.
It did, but then it bounced up. He wasn't sure where it went. It's not a smart thing to roll your quarterback into the end zone, though, with Miami's defensive line, because they're coming. And they're going to just keep coming until they get you.
3rd and long for the Huskies. Orlovsky out of the shotgun. Four-man rush for Miami. Orlovsky in trouble and throws at the feet of his tight end Collins, covered by Jonathan Vilma. It'll be a punting situation for the Huskies.
That was one where he threw it just to get rid of it, to make sure he didn't take the safety. Knows he won't get a grounding call if he throws it down by the feet of this kid to his tight end. Now the question is, if you're Miami, do you pin your ears back and go after this punt?
Foles will stand near the back of his end zone. Ethnic Sands out at midfield to receive the kick. They've had one punt blocked and one snap that sailed over the head, which Coles was able to get away for a nice punt. Coles gets that one away. Flag down. Miami was offside, so they're going to bring this back. Ethnic Sands bobbles the football, and I think Miami got back on it. Oh, they say Connecticut's got it.
Connecticut's got it.
So they'll obviously decline the penalty. Jason Della Selva fell on the football, so Ethnic Sands coughs up the punt, cost Miami excellent field position. Looked like Miami was offside, and obviously Connecticut will.
Offside on the defense. Penalty is declined. UConn has recovered the ball. First down.
And he took his eye off it just at the last minute. A good job by Hopkins to cover the punt and Della Selva to get on the fumble.
Well, and it took a nice bounce for UConn because it sort of spun in place instead of kicking out of bounds. Well, Miami went after it hard, but got a little jump on the line. I think it was Nate Smith, wide receiver from Miami. Almost gets it here. You watch, looks up last minute, lets it go, and then it spins right there. Lets UConn get there. He can only get one hand on it. Saints can't pull it back in.
9:05 left to go second quarter. Miami up 28-0. UConn trying to take advantage of a turnover. Fake to Poole. Orlowski steps up in the pocket and throws. Incomplete. Maurice Sykes. And a penalty flag down. Phil Dyson was the intended receiver.
Well, you hear the boos coming out. We'll wait and see what the call is, but the crowd didn't like it, that's for sure.
Well, it had to be earlier in the route because there was nothing wrong when Sykes went up to play the football. It's a holding call.
Yeah, it wasn't when the ball was in the air.
Let's take another look, and Sykes covering Phil Dyson, and I think that's where the holding occurs right there.
You get him wrapped up right, yep.
That's textbook.
Yeah, well, it's textbook holding, you know.
Exactly.
And as a former lineman, I can tell you exactly what that is, you know.
You never did that.
No, it's only holding if they call you for it. You know, people say, oh, you were holding that guy. If there's not a flag, it's not holding.
So the 10-yard penalty gives Connecticut a first down at the Miami 40-yard line. 9 minutes exactly to go here in the second quarter. Poole and Anderson in the eye behind Orlowski. Orlowski on a rollout. Throws, and it is caught at the 27-yard line. They rule it out of bounds. Brandon Young making the reception, but not in bounds.
Let him just a little too much. And trying to buy a little more time, so they move Orlowski around in the pocket a little bit. He's just going to boot it out to his left. Floats it a little too much, though. Takes him right out of bounds with this.
Yep, first foot out of bounds. Good call. Randy Edsel's team trying to gain some confidence here going against the #1 team in the country. And trying to take advantage of Miami's second turnover of the night. And a 2nd and 10. Orlowski, incomplete, trying to hit Phil Dyson down the middle, covered by Antrell Roll. DJ Williams coming on a rare Miami blitz.
Miami's only the 2nd-ranked Division I team that they've played. They played Virginia Tech. So I mean, this is a new experience for them. I mean, they're used to playing, you know, they play a lot of football. They played a lot locally, you know, and all of a sudden now they got to travel. So the furthest they've come south, and the only time obviously they've played a #1 team.
Well, they lost to Boston College 24-16 in their season opener, then lost to Georgia Tech 31-14. They gave Boston College fits for most of that game. 3rd and 10 from the Miami 44. Has to step up in the pocket. Escaped one, now tries to dump it off and throws it dead into the ground, incomplete. And Orlowski took a shot, and he and DJ Williams both a little slow to get up.
He was running for his life. And take a look at it here. Miami just coming again, just with their front four. He does a nice job of looting here, but now he's got nowhere to go, and then DJ Williams just sticks it to him.
Roscoe Parrish back to receive the punt from Coles, as Orlowski now 6 out of 10 has missed his last 5.
He took a shot right under the ribs there. He's going to be sore.
Bit of a high snap. Coles, who's 6'6", pulls it down, gets away an end-over-end kick that is out of bounds inside the Miami 15-yard line. We'll see exactly where they spot it. And it's going to be at the 10-yard line where the Canes will have it 1st and 10. Nice job by Adam Coles, pinning the Canes back at the 10-yard line. 8:37 left to go second quarter. Miami leads it 28-0. Former Florida Marlin and Tampa Bay native Gary Sheffield is the focus of tonight's Beyond the Glory. Hear the colorful story surrounding the outfielder's infamous vices, near-death experience, and 14 years of Major League Baseball. Watch Beyond the Glory tonight right here on Fox Sports Net at 8 o'clock. Jason Gathers had the carry on first down and was dropped for a loss of 2 by Jamal Lundy as Dan Orlowski, trying to recover his senses on the sideline, has been under pretty intense pressure by the Hurricane pass rush tonight.
He's getting a heck of a lesson, that's for sure. And but you know, I mean, the kid comes down and plays a game like this. When they go into the remainder of the season, this is going to be tremendously beneficial for him.
2nd and 12 for the Hurricanes. First negative play by the UConn defense tonight. Dorsey going for his tight end. Kellen Winslow makes the catch out at the 18-yard line. Picked up close to 10. Jamal Lundy and Rasul Wallace had him bracketed in coverage, but could not prevent the completion.
Well, there would be the trilogy we talked about. If you look at it sort of from a midterm grading perspective, the 3 question marks, Frank, with the secondary coming into it, the O-line, and your tight end with Jeremy Shockey gone. Kellen Winslow Jr. certainly showing, hey, he can play, and the answers across the board to all 3 of those have been excellent so far for Miami.
3rd and 3 for the Hurricanes. Forcing 3-step drop to Andre Johnson, complete out to the 25-yard line, and that'll be a first down. Marlon Jones had the coverage for the Huskies. Andre Johnson, 6'3", 227-pound junior, 10 catches coming into the game, 17.3-yard average, and 3 touchdowns.
Well, you see Andre smiling. What he wants, he's making those moves each time he catches it. One of them he's going to break when he can spin off of somebody and have a little room to run afterwards.
7 minutes, 10 seconds left to go second quarter. Miami leading 28-0 over UConn. Jason Gathers. Gathers bursting through. Jason Gathers across midfield. And Gathers bumped down by Roy Hopkins at the UConn 24-yard line, just inside the 25. Hopkins saving the touchdown as he had the angle on Jason Gathers, who has struggled a bit after the big first game against FAMU. But that is a big run for the Hurricanes.
Watch a block by Sherko right here. Pulling guard from the left side, does a great job of opening that up. Jason sees that crease, and that's all he needs to get him out into the secondary and run it.
50-yard gain from Jason Gathers.
Here's Sherko right here, bang. Good block, that opens it up, and then now you got nothing but daylight.
Jason Gathers 283 yards and a 6.3 average on the season coming into the game. Rips off a gain from the Miami 25 to the UConn 25. There's a pitch to Gathers. Gathers gets the corner, puts his shoulder down and gets close to first down yardage. Terrence Smith, number 22, the junior safety. Pompano Beach Cardinal Gibbons making the tackle. Look at Jason Gathers' numbers on the season.
The last run should boost his average just a little bit too. You know?
No question. 2 touchdowns rushing, also 2 touchdowns receiving, both of those in the Florida game. Second and a yard upcoming for Miami. Standard personnel group. Gathers again. Gets through to the 10-yard line. Terrence Smith again had to make the tackle, but it's a gain of 6 and a Miami first down.
We're talking about a guy finding a crease. That's all that was there. That was enough. Jason Gathers gets through there, kind of squirts out on the other side, but more than enough to pick up the first down. But a nice job by Jason of squeezing through what little room he had.
Gathers switched from wide receiver to running back, which was his high school position at Boca Raton Spanish River High School. And he has made the transition rather seamlessly. First down for the Canes. Play action. Dorsey under pressure. Incomplete as he was buried on a blitz. Chris Meyer, safety, number 5, and Jamal Lundy, number 21.
Yeah, Lundy's unblocked. And you see Lundy all fired up, having made the play. Dorsey patting him on the back. But nobody picks him up. This is totally blind. You'll see him right there. And does a nice job of bringing it. But this is one that they just don't have scheme. He's coming hot off a corner, and there's nobody there for the pickup.
Dorsey lucky to get the ball away and avoid the sack. Canes can actually pick up a first down, but they essentially have to score to do it.
Yeah.
The yard marker is about 8 inches away from the goal line.
I think in theory they can pick up a first down. I'm not sure it can happen in reality.
2nd and 10. Gathers again. Big hole. Gathers taken down by Meyer. That saved the touchdown. about the 4-yard line because there was nobody left. Meyer doesn't make that tackle.
Well, you come back to what works. What sprung the long run was the same play they just run there, and they pull Shurko from the left side. He does a great job of kicking it out. That's all you need for a back like Jason Gathers.
5 minutes left to go in the second quarter. Miami trying to add to a 28-0 lead. Frank Fort and Dave Heffernan with you here on Fox Sports Net. Canes started this drive back at their own 10-yard line. 3 wideouts in the game for Miami. Gathers is the running back. Dorsey needs to look back the other way as his first receiver was covered, but he finds Kevin Beard for a touchdown. Marlon Jones had the coverage, but could not prevent Kevin Beard's second touchdown catch of the year, and it's 34-0. David, looked like he wanted Roscoe Parrish on the fade to the left side, but that was covered. And you see the presence of Dorsey coming back the other way and looking for his secondary guy.
Absolutely. They do a good job picking up the blitz. They're bringing them. They give Dorsey enough time to make that read, and you're absolutely right, Frank. He looks, it's not there, and then finds the open guy and tosses it in for TD.
Todd Seaver's on, and his 5th extra point attempt of the night is good. And with 4:36 left to go in the second quarter, Ken Dorsey to Kevin Beard from 5 yards out has the Canes up 35-0. And you'll see it again. He's looking left all the way at first.
He is. You see the good pickup in the middle, picking them all up, and then comes back to the right. Got them all alone in the corner.
That's a 9-play, 90-yard drive, and by UM standards, an eternity, 4 minutes and 1 second.
Well, that could throw the whole average off if you keep that up.
Kevin Beard came into the night with 7 catches and a 10.1-yard average, 1 touchdown. And, you know, to be quite honest about it, he's been a little down because he's been inconsistent. It's kind of catch one, drop one, catch one, you know, not run a great route. And, you know, tonight, that touchdown catch, hopefully he'll get him pointed in the right direction because he's a very talented young man. You see the touchdown drive there, 9 plays, 90 yards. And on the phone with wide receivers coach Curtis Johnson, along with Ethnic Sands.
Well, one of the things he does, too, is very smart. He goes down. He knows he's in the end zone. He gets down on his knees to cradle that ball. Doesn't try to reach down. Doesn't try to do anything fancy. Gets all the way underneath it to make sure that he makes the catch.
Jason Della Selva will be back to return the kickoff for UConn as Todd Severs tees it up.
Della Selva did a nice job bringing it out to the 50 last time. We'll see what he's got this time.
47-yard return on his last try. And he'll have another go, this time from the 3. Della Selva still going. It's the corner at the 25, and Marcus Maxey shoves him out at the 27-yard line. That's where Connecticut will start 1st and 10 with 4:23 to go in the second quarter. Cane defense has put Dan Orlovsky under a lot of pressure tonight. And there's a look at Marcus Maxey, the redshirt freshman from Navasota, Texas.
Again, it plays so well into Miami's defensive scheme when you can put that kind of pressure with 4. Rarely, we've seen him bring DJ Williams a couple times, but really it's just been the front 4, and that's so valuable when you can put pressure on a quarterback just bringing 4 and put everybody else in cover.
Well, that's why they were so successful against Florida, because they were able to get pressure with just 4. First down, Orlowski has to look back to the near side of the field, throws and nearly intercepted. Sean Taylor nearly had the pick.
Sean Taylor's holding his hand. He may have hurt his hand on that play, but Orlowski just kind of tosses this thing up. And it's like a UConn jump ball, the alley-oop.
O'Neal Wilson was the intended receiver.
Well, he's lucky he didn't get his receiver killed on this by lofting it up like this, but Taylor's great break on the ball, and I'm just not sure why he didn't come up with it.
Yeah, he probably hit the shoulder pad of Al Marshall.
Yeah, that may be what it is. That's why he's holding his right hand.
2nd and 10, Connecticut. That would have been 6 points for Sean Taylor, still looking for his first collegiate interception.
Well, it's surprising Taylor didn't go to take his head off either, though, because he likes to hit.
2nd and 10 out of the shotgun. Fake to Bellamy. Canes had a corner blitz coming. Orlowski under pressure from Andrew Williams has to throw that one away. Antrell Roll was coming on the corner fire blitz, and Orlowski had to run for his life.
He's got to be thinking, look, you got 4 guys chasing me off. You don't need to keep bringing other folks, and here comes the corner. So, but I tell you, Orlowski's shown a lot of poise so far for being under that kind of pressure. Doesn't seem to have him rattled at all. And, you know, he's doing a nice job with the clock management, trying to move. And they've moved the ball some, just not being able to consistently put it all together.
3rd and 10 from the 27. Huskies with 3 wideouts. Collins the tight end and Bellamy the running back alongside Orlovsky in the shotgun. 4-man rush for Miami. Orlovsky over the middle, off the hands of Cliff Hill at the 40-yard line. Antrell Roll had the coverage. And it'll be another punting situation for the Huskies.
You've got to credit the guys up front again, though, because Orlovsky under pressure, they make him step up and they make him throw when he doesn't want to. So he's got to lead Hill, who's not open, but he's got to put it way out in front of him.
Adam Coles, the Australian, standing at his 13-yard line. Ethnic Sands back to receive the punt. He fumbled Coles' last effort.
Well, I'm trying to figure out, this guy's 6'6", so how do they snap one over his head, and then put the other one high? You figure this would be one punter you should be able to snap to.
By the way, Orlovsky now with 9 consecutive incompletions.
He started 7 of 11, so stats have changed just a bit on that.
Coles end-over-end kick out of bounds on the far side, and let's see where they'll spot this one. Walking up past the Miami 40, and they'll mark it at the 45-yard line. It's only a 28-yard punt off the foot of Adam Coles. Here's a look at Miami's schedule, and of course, everyone pointing toward next Saturday when Florida State comes to town. And I don't care if people think Florida State is down or they're not as good, it's still Miami, Florida State.
It's going to be a war.
And then the 3-game road trip, West Virginia, Rutgers, and Tennessee. Pittsburgh looking very strong so far this season, and they're a great defensive group. That could be a very interesting Thursday night game. And then at Syracuse, and of course, Virginia Tech, who could well be 12-0 by the time they get to the Orange Bowl.
You could have 1 and 2 playing at the end of the year.
On first down from the 45, Dorsey on a naked bootleg, throwing complete at the 38-yard line to Kevin Beard.
They're going to get some extra yardage on it, too, because Dorsey got hit late.
Well, it's about time somebody called that, because he doesn't get hit very often, but against BC, he took a couple shots I thought should have been penalties.
We got this one called.
Roughing the passer on the defense. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
You'll see Tyler King, number 52, is going to hit him after he lets his ball go. Defensive end running him down, staying with him, winds up throwing him, pulling him to the ground.
He could have easily pulled up.
And that's the whole thing. It's not that this was some violent hit, but he's on top of him. Ball's gone, and instead of just letting go and sliding down, he pulls him, throwing him to the ground, and that's why the flag came.
The gain on the completion to Beard was 17 yards. Tack on 15 with the penalty. That puts it at the Connecticut 24-yard line. Plenty of time to go in the second quarter. 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Jared Payton now in a tailback. Dorsey under pressure, and he is sacked. Number 97, Uyo Sunday.
He comes in untouched. They're just bringing the blitz. They've been doing it. We'll see it here. Well, Sunday's going to come from the left of your screen here untouched. Dorsey never has a chance on that one.
I think that was a mix-up between Romberg and McGrath, because McGrath blocks the inside guy.
Yeah, you see him step down, and that allows him to come from the outside linebacker position.
5th sack of the year allowed by the Hurricanes. Sunday out of Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania, which is very close to where I grew up. On second and long, this is Jared Payton with a huge hole. 20. Around a Roscoe Parish block, he'll have first and goal down to the 6-yard line, call it. As Jared Payton gets the action, and Terrence Smith saved the touchdown.
It doesn't get much easier than that for Jared Payton. I mean, this thing opens up. He's got a bowling alley to go right down here. You'll see. He just starts us off to the left, and all of a sudden there's a lane. They do a nice job. McGrath seals it off there. Look at that. There's not a white shirt on your screen.
Gain was 28 yards as they mark it inside the 6-yard line. First and goal for the Hurricanes.
Good job by Kellen Winslow kicking him out, and the rest of the linemen just sealing him in, and that just opened up a lane.
First and goal for Miami. Again, it's Payton on the stretch play. Stumbles, and he'll lose 3 yards back to the 8-yard line. Covered by Alfred Fincher, the middle linebacker.
Credit the 10-yard line with the tackle, because that's what he tripped over.
So the loss of 3 back to the 8. It'll be second and goal. We're under 2 minutes to go here in the first half.
Nice to see Payton in there. I mean, he's a guy that's been fighting with nagging injuries that really hurt him early in the season. Now, the last few games, he's had a chance to get in and get some significant touches and get a chance to see what he's got.
Second and goal for the Canes. Double tight end, and Winston in motion. Fake to Peyton. Dorsey under pressure. Throws toward the end zone. Incomplete. Going for Kellen Winslow Jr. Covered by Marlon Jones. And Sunday again had pressure on Ken Dorsey.
Yeah, well, he didn't buy the fake, but Sunday didn't buy that at all to get in there. So as soon as Dorsey rolled outside with us, so Sunday was on top of him.
Sunday, 6'3", 243-pound junior. Leading sacker on UConn, had 4.5 sacks through 5 games coming into this one. Also 30 total tackles, so he's been their best guy up front. And it's 3rd and goal, Canes. Clock stopped with 1.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Miami already leads at 35-0. 3 touchdowns for Willis McGahee, 1 touchdown pass from Dorsey, and a defensive score by Andrew Williams. And 3rd and goal, Dorsey going for the corner. Kevin Beard got his feet in, touchdown Hurricanes. That's kind of a mismatch. Jamal Lundy, the outside linebacker, covering Kevin Beard.
Kevin Beard spun Jamal Lundy around like a top. He had no idea where he was when that ball was coming. Now, this is a great throw and catch, but you're right. What makes it happen is you got a linebacker out there trying to cover Kevin Beard, and as soon as he spins on him, gets around, he's not sure what's going on. They just throw it over his head.
Dorsey's second touchdown pass of the night, both to Beard. Todd Seaver's extra point is up and good, and with 1:23 to go in the second quarter, it's Miami 42, Connecticut nothing. He comes from the slot and runs kind of a wheel route.
He spins, he doesn't know where the ball is. He just stopped. He no idea what was going on.
6 plays, 55 yards, 2 minutes and 35 seconds on the scoring drive. And you're right, Jamal Lundy just has no clue where the football is. Kevin Beard does, said thanks very much, I'll take it. Second touchdown of the night, 3rd on the season for the junior from Plantation, Florida, Kevin Beard. And Miami rolling up a 42-0 lead, and somewhere Fern Labate is smiling. The women's basketball coach at the University of Miami, whose team is, of course, like a lot of other teams in the country, taking their share of defeats at the hands of the UConn women's basketball team. So I don't know if Fern got in Larry's ear this week and said, hey, you know, a little payback.
You know Fern is smiling somewhere. That's absolutely right for the beatings that they've taken there. And you know, UConn's got good teams, but they've never seemed to hold back at all as far as putting points up.
Dorsey's numbers 13 out of 18. Can't argue with that completion percentage. Very productive, 161 yards, 2 touches, and the 1 interception on the attempted bomb to Roscoe Parrish.
And I mean, the 1 pick was just a bad throw, you know, but on a throw like that, it's not going to hurt Miami. It's not a foolish throw where this kid's going to return it on you. He tosses it deep.
Seavers to kick off again. De La Selva, a yard deep, and he's going to stay right there. Touchback, and UConn will start at their 20-yard line. Well, the Huskies, as I mentioned, played BC very tough in the opening game of the season. They trailed Georgia Tech 31-0 before making it a 31-14 final. Then they beat Buffalo and Ohio University before losing at home last week to Ball State.
Well, I'll tell you, one of the things that Randy Edsall is doing with this program, if you look, they're an independent now, and they're playing people from every conference. They're getting these kids exposed to all kinds of different stadiums, different teams, and that's really going to help them in the long run.
Of course, they joined the Big East in 2005 for football. They're already a Big East member in other sports. This is Chandler Poole on a draw play. Poole has some room out to the 30-yard line. Got away from Maurice Sykes. And Poole finally bumped out by Sean Taylor at the Miami 45-yard line. Randy Edsall screaming for a flag, but there's no way.
No, not on that.
He didn't run out of bounds on his own.
The only flag ought to be thrown is for poor tackling by Miami. He does a nice job here of kicking it outside, but you'll see Maurice Sykes come up and get a big hit on him, but doesn't wrap him. Right here, just good, strong running, and then Sean Taylor's going to come across. Yeah, there's no flag there. He hits him while he's inbound. You got to take him out. This is to save a touchdown.
Gain of 35 yards for the graduate of Western High School in Davie, Florida, up in Broward County. So Chandler Poole making some of the hometown folks happy. And he's got the football again. Matt Walters could not get him, but then DJ Williams takes him down for a loss of 2. Walters totally disrupted the play, and then DJ finished him off.
We hadn't called Matt Walters' name yet earlier tonight, but again, a guy we've always talked about, likes to get around the ball. You see him around the ball a lot. Here he gets good penetration, and you're right, that's what makes it happen, allows DJ Williams to come in and finish it off.
2nd and 12 for the Huskies. Orlovsky out of the shotgun, 4-man rush. Orlovsky Down the sideline, incomplete, overthrowing Wes Timko as he was covered by Kelly Jennings. And the clock stops with 40 seconds left in the second quarter. Total yards, 326 for Miami, 117 for UConn. And the Huskies have actually run one more play than Miami.
It's pretty impressive on Miami's behalf. I mean, that's good yardage for a game. They've done it in half. And I think that's really what Larry Coker wanted to see, was his team to come out, be sharp, no matter who the opponent was, and really get it going. And so far, he's got what he's asked for.
Particularly after the bye week last week and getting ready to look at Florida State next week. 3rd and 12 for UConn. At the Miami 47. Four-man rush. Orlowski steps up, throws complete at the Miami 45-yard line to Jason Williams, but DJ Williams there to take him down. Gain was only 2.
Big hit by DJ.
And it'll be 4th and 10 with 24 seconds left to go in the first half. I guess there's no sense in punting. And they don't even have to run another play if they don't want to.
Yeah, they can let this run out, and I think that's what you're going to see.
It's 42-0 Miami. Randy Edsall hands on hips, and Connecticut offense just kind of milling around, and they're going to let the clock run out here in the first half. And now, let me correct myself, they take a timeout with 4 seconds to go. So we'll see with the wind at their back if they just take one shot at the end zone. Miami 44-yard line.
Well, we haven't seen him throw deep all night. I mean, they've thrown all the little things underneath. What do you got to lose? You know, if it gets picked in the end zone, so be it.
Randy Edsall. And Larry Coker already can laugh on the sideline, up 42-0 at halftime. Isn't that, by the way, isn't that on the right side of the screen, isn't that Ed Hudak? We haven't talked about Ed all season.
No, we haven't. You know, we'll have to get on that, you know. Big 2-sack Hudak, you know.
2-sack Hudak?
2-sack Hudak.
Is that what you called him?
Well, that was his career stats, I think, you know.
Was that sacks given up or sacks by him?
We're not sure.
Oh.
We're not sure, but Ed's a great guy and obviously been a big part of the program for a long time. Not sure what he does, but he's a big part of the program, you know. So. But he has been around.
Well, we've said this about Ed in the past, that he knows when the camera's on. Because he's always next to the guy who scores the touchdown. We shoot the guy that scores the touchdown. There's Ed, magically.
Well, I think he was trained by Father Leo, who knows camera presence better than anybody.
We'll hear about that one. All right, so it's one play, 4 seconds left for the Huskies. Orlowski out of the shotgun. Big rush on, and Jamal Green takes him down for a sack.
Well, you can't throw it to the end zone unless you throw it first. And
that was a 3-man rush.
Yeah.
So fittingly and typically for the first half, it ends on a sack by the Hurricanes. And after 2 quarters of play, Miami leads Connecticut by a score of 42-0. 3 early Willis McGahee touchdowns, a pair of Ken Dorsey touchdown passes, and an Andrew Williams fumble return. That accounts for the 6 Miami touchdowns. Canes 42, UConn nothing. We'll be back at halftime here on Fox Sports Net. Chandler Poole, 35-yard run right at the end of the first half. Connecticut would be in the minus category in the yards rushing, as it is 107 yards total offense to 326 for the Hurricanes.
Well, the only thing UConn's done is they have dominated time of possession, but that hasn't helped them at all. I mean, they've really tried to chew up the clock. They've kept it 17 minutes. But as we've talked about, Miami doesn't need it very long.
Well, here's the Maytag repairman of the night, Mark Hickok, the Connecticut kicker. First time we've been able to see him kicking off with the win. Knocks it to Jason Gathers at the 2. Gathers puts his head down and gets up to the 25-yard line with a flag down. Deion Anderson, the freshman fullback, making the tackle for UConn. So right away, Miami will start in a little bit of a hole. Illegal block in the back.
That was one of the things I was going to talk about is that the penalties have been minimal for Miami. Only 3 in the first half, and then, of course, they come right out and start with this one. So you don't want to see it. We talked off the air, Frank, and whether we'd see Dorsey again, see Ken Dorsey out here. I think you're going to see at least a series or 2, and then that'll be it for the night. But I think you want to see him come out after halftime, go ahead and get that offense going a little bit, and then pull him out for the night.
First unit offensive line remains in there with Carlos Joseph, Sherko Haji Rasuli, Brett Romberg, Chris Myers, and Vernon Carey. First and 10 from the 14. Dorsey flips it out complete to Winslow, his tight end, to the 25, 30, and close to the 35-yard line. Maurice Lloyd, the outside linebacker, made the tackle.
Winslow's showing you one of the things he's got, the nice soft hands. He puts it out there. They just drag him across. Dorsey does a nice job Again, O-line, Carlos Joseph doing a nice job, and Vernon Carey picking up the outside rushers to give Dorsey enough time to get this throw off.
Gain of 20 on the completion to Kellen Winslow, his second catch of the night. Total of 30 yards. So the Canes put up their 19th first down of the game. From the 34. Dorsey up to McGahee. Has some blockers in front. Willis at the 40 and just tripped up. Ball comes loose as he hit the ground. They're going to call him down by contact. Chris Meyer, number 5, the safety, had to make the tackle. Spotted at the 41-yard line. That's a gain of 7. On the market at the 42, so call it a gain of 8. Second, and a long 2 for the Hurricanes.
Mixing it up a little offense with a nice play calling. Again, with Miami's linemen letting him get out there and run a little bit.
Look at the Nextel quarterback comparison. Orlovsky 8 of 22. Dorsey 15 out of 20. Dorsey gives it to McGahee on a draw to midfield and into Connecticut territory at the 46-yard line. Marlon Jones and Terrence Smith, 2 defensive backs combining on the tackle, but that is plenty for a Miami first down as McGahee picks up 13.
Well, this is exactly, Frank, what I think what Chudzinski, the offensive coordinator, and Dorsey or Coker wanted to see in this second half is just come out, drive down the field, put together a nice solid opening drive, put some points on the board, and then pull your first group out.
First and 10 from the Connecticut 45. Gahey again. And tripped up as he reaches the Connecticut 40. Number 32, Marlon Jones, the cornerback, making the tackle. Gain was 5.
And it's a good thing Jones tripped him up. There was a lot of running room after that. Jones gets just enough of his feet to trip him up.
And McGahee coming into this game, and he's added a few more of these plays tonight, had 22 plays this season of 10 or more yards in 4 ball games.
Not bad for the guy who was supposed to be the number 2 running back when everybody talked about Frank Gore. You know, the reason they talked about Gore was the big average he had last year. Well, McGahee's up a little over 8 yards a carry right now.
From the Connecticut 40. Dorsey looking to throw and incomplete, looking for Roscoe Parrish at the 30-yard line. Terrence Smith, number 22, had the coverage along with Jamal Lundy, and that'll be 3rd and 5. Getting back to McGahee for just a second. Here's an even more impressive stat, Dave. Of the 75 times that McGahee had touched the football in 4 games, 33 of those, which is 44%, have either gone for first downs or touchdowns. You can't get much more productive than that.
No. The guy does what you want out of it and allows you to move the chains and allows you to put points on the board. And that's the 2 things you want to see out of your back.
3rd and 5 for the Canes. 3 wideouts into the formation. No fullback. And 3rd and 5. Connecticut coming on a blitz. Dorsey unloads quickly, complete to Beard, but it'll be a half-yard short of a first down. Roy Hopkins, along with Terrence Smith, making the tackle. It'll be 4th and a little less than a yard.
And you're going to leave this crew in here because you want to be able to just pick up this first down here with the first unit in there.
Gain was 4 on the short completion to Beard. That'll bring Quad Hill, the fullback, back into the game. Coming up on 12 minutes to go in this 3rd quarter. Miami with a 42-0 lead forged at halftime. Hill in motion. Give to McGahee. Find a nice Quad Hill block, and McGahee picks up 6 and a first down. So the Canes will continue to move the clock. Fincher, the middle linebacker, and Lundy combining on the tackle.
You gave the stat. That's what he likes to do, is pick up first down. Take a look at it here again. They're all just going reaching to the right. They seal it off. Look at the wall that you get from the offensive line. McGahee does a nice job of then cutting back, knowing he's got to just pick up a little for the first down.
And they'll run the clock with 11:33 to go in the 3rd quarter. First down, Canes just inside the Connecticut 30. Standard personnel group in for the Miami offense. Dorsey with play action. Blitz coming. Dorsey gets it away down the middle. Incomplete. Broken up by Terrence Smith as Ethnic Sands was the intended target at the 5-yard line.
Dorsey's hot. He and Lundy are going at it a little bit there. They brought blitzes off both sides. And Dorsey having a little conversation with the official, but he's a little upset about something. You'll see Lundy coming on the backside of this. He's also going to have number 5 Myers on the front side, so they're blitzing both ways. I think Lundy doing a little job of pushing him down after the fact.
And a good play by the defensive back. Make it Marlon Jones, number 32. Credit him with the breakup.
Well, it's the pressure that makes that happen, though, because he's got to throw it behind him. He doesn't get a chance to lead him on it.
So it's 2nd and 10 from the UConn 29. Again, a blitz coming. Dorsey gets it out to Sands. He'll pick up 6 yards. Marlon Jones makes the tackle there. Jones, a sophomore out of Jacksonville, Florida. 18 Connecticut Huskies from the state of Florida. In fact, they have more players from Florida than any other state. They have 18 from Florida, 17 from Connecticut.
Well, it goes to show you a little something about the high school talent here in Florida, and everybody likes to come down and recruit in this area to see who they can pull. 16 of the 18 Florida kids are dressed for tonight's game, and 9 of the Floridians are from either Miami-Dade, Broward, or Palm Beach counties. So it's 3rd and 5 for Miami. Just shy of the Connecticut 24-yard line. And Dorsey out as wide receiver as Ethnic Sands takes a snap at quarterback, pitches it back to McGahee, and he'll pick up a first down at the 19-yard line. That may be the first option in Miami history. Well, I think that's one that you throw in there to say, hey, Mickey Andrews, who's the defensive coordinator for Florida, said, here's a little something to think about when you analyze these films. Dorsey goes to wideout. Ethnic Sands, former high school quarterback, comes in, and they just run an absolute base option.
And that's what he did in high school. He was an option quarterback.
Yeah, it's familiar to him. This is nothing new. But yeah, that's a little something to get Mickey Andrews chewing on up in Tallahassee.
Ball just inside the Connecticut 19-yard line. McGahee now with 108 yards. That's his 4th consecutive 100-yard game. The school record is 6, held by Edgerrin James. First down, Dorsey. To Ethnic Sands. Nice catch at the 15-yard line. He'll go down there in the arms of Hopkins. Pick up a 4.
Well, and you think about that, Frank, and really, McGahee ought to have one more. They pulled him out of the FAMU game very early. At about 75 yards, but they pulled him out because they wanted to see Jason Gathers, but that was really a game that he easily would have gone over 100.
He had 6 carries for 60 yards.
Yeah, so I think he could have had that one as well.
Miami has kept possession through this entire 3rd quarter so far, which is 9:35 to go.
This is exactly what Miami's coaches wanted to see out of this drive, if they can finish it.
Drive started at the Miami 14. They're now at the UConn 15. Dorsey, pump fakes, throwing for the end zone. Ethnic Sands, touchdown Miami. Dorsey's 3rd touchdown pass of the night. The first to Ethnic Sands, and that is Ethnic's 3rd touchdown catch of the season. It's 48-0 Hurricanes.
Well, and we got a flag down, and it may be on Dorsey, because Dorsey ran over to say something right around the time that flag got tossed up, but somebody either said something or pushed somebody late when this flag came out.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on Miami. The touchdown is good. Penalty being forced at the spot of the extra point.
Now let's see if we can catch it after the play. Nice pump fake from Dorsey. He goes down.
Yeah, but now watch if we stay on him. He gets up and runs over. And I think he said something, because that's when the flag came out. He happened to be right in front of the official.
Well, if they threw it for clapping his hands, that's a bit picky. I got to agree with you. I think he said something. And to be honest, Ken's had a lot of conversations with defensive players this year. And even his roommate, Brett Romberg, has said, dude, we'll take care of it. So the 35-yard extra point from Sievers is up, and it is no good. Missed it wide to the right, so it'll stay 48-0. As Sievers' extra point try from 35 yards drifts wide to the right. 9:18 left to go 3rd quarter. Dorsey's 3rd touchdown pass of the night has the Hurricanes up 48-0. Miami takes 5 minutes and 42 seconds off the clock on an 86-yard touchdown drive, 12 plays, and they now lead 48-0. The extra point from Sievers was missed from 35 yards away. There is Todd, who is on the Lou Groza Award watch list. And we'll get to more of that in a moment. Here is the kickoff from Mark Gent. Bounces inside the 15-yard line and out of bounds. It was touched by the Hurricanes and flagged down. So let's see what the call is, because that ball hit inbounds and I believe was touched inbounds by Carl Walker. Miami had a chance to recover that.
Yeah,
Carl couldn't keep it in bounds.
It's a live ball if he can field it.
By the kicking team.
Saying it went out of bounds before Walker touched it. All right, we have our guest with us here in the booth. It's Rick Ellington from the Palm Beach County Sports Commission, and Rick is here as part of the Lou Groza Award, which how many years now has the Lou Groza Award given out to the country's best place kicker?
This is the 11th year that the award's been around. It started in 1992.
And Todd Sievers is on that watch list. We'll Talk a little bit about Todd in just a minute. Connecticut will snap at 1st and 10 from their 35. Orlovsky with his first chance to run the offense here in the second half. Chris Bellamy is the running back. And Bellamy has the football. And he can't get anywhere. William Joseph takes him down for a loss of 1. Matt Walters lending a helping hand.
That's exactly what it was. Walters was sitting down at the time.
Rick, talk a little bit about Todd Sievers. He's on a list of, 30 on your preseason list?
Yeah, we have a list of 30 kickers that we put out right before the season started of who we thought had the best chance to win the award this year. The first week in November, we'll cut that down to the top 20 semifinalists, and then a couple weeks after that, we'll come out with our 3 finalists for the award.
We'll get back to you in just a moment. 2nd and 11 for UConn as Todd Sievers, you see a 53-yard field goal against Florida, and that's one of the reasons that he is one of the top kickers in the country. And 2nd and 11, Orlovsky on a rollout. Going deep, and just overthrows Wes Timko at the Miami 35-yard line. Antrell Roll and Sean Taylor had the coverage. Rick, what is the criteria you look at? Do you look at statistics? Do you scout the kids? How does that work?
The main thing that determines the winners for the award is the pure field goal kicks and makes. Yardage certainly comes into play. The longer the field goal's made, the better the chance.
Seth Marler of Tulane was your winner last year, is that correct?
That's right. He went 15-16 last year, made a couple over 50 yards, so he had a pretty good season.
That sounds like it's an award-winning season. 3rd and 11 for the Huskies. Orlovsky out of the shotgun. Swings it out complete to Bellamy. And Bellamy got away at the 30, lost the football, but out of bounds. Maurice Sykes pushed him out. Bellamy just flat dropped the football out of bounds. The play went for a gain of about 3, and it'll be 4th down. How long have you been with the Groza Committee?
This is my 2nd year on the committee working with the award. It's been a blast. Last year really had a chance to meet the 3 finalists that we had for the award. They were in town for the presentation, and it's been fun.
Cole's on to punt. When is the actual award ceremony itself?
The award banquet is on Tuesday, December 10th, up in West Palm Beach.
Bosco Parrish back to receive the kick for the Hurricanes. Coles left foots it out of there. Nice high kick. Drives Parrish back, and he'll let it bounce over his head at the 10-yard line into the end zone for a touchback. Now, is it open to the public as far as buying tickets, or how does that work?
Absolutely. In a couple of weeks, tickets will officially go on sale. You can get more information from that by going to our website, www.palmbeachsports.com. Tickets are $75 a piece. We give out the National Kicker of the Year Award, and we also have some local Player of the Year awards that we give out as well.
So there's some high school kickers involved in that?
Yeah, we give out the Palm Beach County Player of the Year, Kicker of the Year, and Coach of the Year.
As you can see, Derek Crudup will come into the game. Ken Dorsey's night is done with 3 touchdown passes. 7:41 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Miami leading 48-0. So Derek Crudup will get some work. Crudup on a rollout. Looking for Akeem Jalla, finds him up at the 33-yard line, and that's a gain of 13. And a Miami first down as Roy Hopkins shoved the true freshman from New Orleans out of bounds. Derek completing passes at a 75% rate, 8 out of 12, 115 yards and a touchdown. And Akeem Jalla, number 80, already has 1 touchdown pass in his very young Hurricane career. And this is a young man who, if you talk to Brock Berlin, who runs the scout team, he says, this kid can play.
This is the kid, huh?
On a first down, carried by Gathers, and he'll lose 2 back to the 31-yard line. Tyler King, number 52, in on the tackle. Along with Razul Wallace, number 43, the backup middle linebacker. So we'll mark it back at the 31. It'll be 2nd and 12 for the Hurricanes. Hurricanes going with Jalla and Sonoris Moss, 2 true freshman wide receivers, a true freshman tight end in Eric Winston. And the offensive line looks like this: Rashad Butler, Joe McGrath, Joel Rodriguez, Ed Wilkins, and Tony Tella. So it's the 2nd group along the offensive line. Crudup looking to throw. And it's caught. And that's Ryan Moore, the freshman from Orlando, Florida, making his first catch as a college player down at the UConn 40-yard line. Ezra Carey had the coverage, and a very good-looking throw from Derek Crudup.
Canes fans, take note. You're looking at your future right now. seeing these true freshmen get a chance to come in and play. And that's one of the things that when you have a program like this, put the points on, you wholesale substitute, so all of these guys have got experience. But you're looking at the next few years.
It's a 29-yard catch on the reception by Ryan Moore. From the UConn 40. Jason gathers. No gain and a flag down. Probably holding on Miami. Tyler King made the tackle for no gain.
Yeah, given where it was thrown from, you're going to see. And that's the call.
Rick, one more time, you cut it from down to 30 to 20, and then when do you make your final cut to the 3 finalists?
We'll make the final cut, announcing the 3 finalists on November 18th. And then the winner will be announced at our award banquet on the 10th.
Holding on the offense. 10 yards from the previous spot. Repeat first down.
And then it'll be announced again 2 nights later on the ESPN College Football Award Show.
All right, one more time for the website if people want to know how to buy tickets.
It's www.palmbeachsports.com.
All right, Rick Ellington, thanks for being with us. We appreciate you taking a couple of minutes, and best of luck with the Groza Award this year.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
Rick Ellington from the Palm Beach County Sports Commission. Lou Groza Award. First and 20 for the Hurricanes after the holding call, and will move it back to midfield. Quick out, Sonoris Moss with the completion, and he'll get only a yard. Jamal Lundy, the outside linebacker, making the tackle. Sonoris, of course, the younger brother of former Hurricane great Santana Moss, now with the New York Jets.
Now trying to show us a little flash of what Santana used to do, just coming back inside with it, but runs it right back into his own offensive lineman. Almost gets knocked down by Rashad Butler when at the end of that.
5 minutes, 36 seconds. Larry Coker's team comfortably in control at 48-0. Second unit offense in there under the direction of Derek Crudup. Derek sits in the pocket and delivers a strike to Akeem Jala at the Connecticut 38-yard line, and that is good enough for a gain of 12.
Well, we've talked a little bit about it before, Frank, but one of the things is, Derek Crudup wants to show that there isn't going to be any big controversy next year between Brock Berlin or anything else. Derek Crudup wants to say, hey, I'm going to be the guy that's going to take this job. And given the minimal showing so far tonight, he's done it all right.
3rd and 8 upcoming for the Hurricanes. Jala's second catch of the night. The holding penalty on Miami, by the way, their 6th penalty of the night for 55 yards. 3rd and 8 for the Canes from the Husky 38. Crudup on a rollout. Being chased by Meyer. Crudup got away. And finally hauled down from behind by Fincher, the middle linebacker. Alfred Fincher made the tackle after a gain of 3. That'll bring up a 4th and 5 for Miami at the UConn 35-yard line.
Nice presence by Derek. I mean, Myers is coming on a hot blitz, coming on the backside. He feels the pressure, kind of ducks underneath it. Makes a positive out of what would have been a very negative play right here. Nice job of some yardage.
Well, Miami will go for it on a 4th and 5. Because a field goal would be a 52-yard attempt against the wind. Crudup on the far sideline and overthrows his man. That is Akeem Jala, covered by Marlon Jones. And so Connecticut will take over on downs at their own 35-yard line. 3:56 left to go in the 3rd quarter here at the Orange Bowl. It's the Hurricanes 48, Connecticut nothing here on Fox Sports Net. Three minutes, 56 seconds left to go. 3rd quarter here in the Orange Bowl. Frank Fort and Dave Heffernan with you on Fox Sports Net. Hurricanes in control at 48-0. They led 42-0 at the half. Orlovsky remains in at quarterback for Connecticut. Orlovsky fakes to Anderson, throws complete to Collins as tight end, picks up 9 out to the 44-yard line. Greg Threek combining with Roger McIntosh on the tackle. First catch by Collins, who leads the Huskies with 17 receptions coming into the game, a 13.6 average.
He's their senior captain and a guy that they like to throw to a lot because there's not a whole lot of senior leadership on this team. You got a few guys in there, but he's one of them.
2nd and a yard for the Huskies.
Well, we got attendance at 52,131. It's been a great year so far for Miami. A few people headed for the gates now, but pretty good turnout.
It'll be packed next week. Here's Deion Anderson with the football. He'll have a first down and more into Miami territory. And the true freshman gets it all the way down to the Miami 38-yard line. Jarrell Weaver and Antrell Roll combining on the tackle.
Gets you excited as a true freshman. Get to come into the OB and rip off a little run like that.
18 yards for Deion Anderson, true freshman from Providence, Rhode Island.
Good job of blocking it up front. He does a nice job of just following and reading it.
First and 10 Huskies at the Hurricane 38. Orlovsky gives to Anderson. And again, he busts through. Down to the Miami 30-yard line. Howard Clark, the senior from Pensacola, New Jersey, makes the tackle. But it's a gain of 8.
Connecticut showing, I mean, they may be down 48-0, but they're not going to lay down in this game. And Randy Edsall's got to be proud of that when you look at this team coming out. Obviously, they'd like to try to prevent a shutout, try to get some points on the board. But, you know, they're coming at it hard.
Well, at this point, he will take any kind of moral victory, I'm sure. They knew they were up against it coming down here. On second and short, Anderson again. And he picks up 3 yards, but has the first down. Howard Clark combining with Jarrell Weaver to make the tackle for the Hurricane defense, but that's a first down at the Miami 27. And they'll move the chains with 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter.
They'll move the chains and they'll chew up a lot of time on the clock, which is the other thing they want to do. Because, you know, you get into a game like this and you want to let this clock run. You want to get out of here. You know, it's 48-0. You want to get on a plane and head back, but get these kids some playing time. But let that clock run down as fast as you can.
First and 10 from the Miami 27. Orlovsky out of the shotgun. Blitz on from Jarrell Weaver, who yanks him down by the face mask, and that'll be 15 yards.
Well, he knows that he came in there and he bit on the fake a little bit and left his feet, which is one of the things fundamentally.
Personal foul, 15-yard face mask on the defense. 15 yards from the previous spot, automatic first down.
I mean, fundamentally, they tell defensive linemen all the time, you don't want to leave your feet unless this ball's actually being thrown. He comes up, and the only thing he can grab on the way down is face mask, and they call it intentional, and it's the right call, but it certainly was just reaching back to get whatever he could because he got airborne.
That'll place it at the Miami 13-yard line on half the distance. Line of scrimmage previously was the 27.
You'll see now all of Miami's defensive starters will be up hounding the coaches, saying, hey, we can go back in, we can go back in.
First and 10 for the Huskies. This is their deepest penetration of the football game. Missed assignment. Orlovsky has to keep the football, and he barely gets back to the line of scrimmage. Cornelius Green, number 98, along with Orion Harris, number 92, making the tackle for Miami.
That's not what you want to have happen when you're playing against Miami, is to turn around and not see your running back there. You know, and this is just a broken play from the get-go. He opens up, and there's obviously some miscommunication, so he does the smart thing, just tucks it down and tries to make something happen.
Ball back closer to the 14-yard line. 48 seconds and the clock moving here in the third quarter. Huskies trying to get on the board. Orlovsky going down the middle, caught for a touchdown by Collins, the tight end. Tommy Collins with his third touchdown catch of the year from 14 yards out, and with 30 seconds to go in the third quarter, Connecticut is on the board.
Go to your favorite target when you need to have it. That's the guy he likes to go to. They release him right down the middle of the field. This is good football. Nice throw and catch.
Randy Edsall applauding the efforts of his sophomore quarterback, Dan Orlovsky. Or Kickock on to attempt the extra point. He puts it up and through, and with 30 seconds remaining in the third quarter of play, it's now Miami 48 and Connecticut 7.
Here they give him the time to make this throw. Does a nice job putting it on the money. Here's your tight end, just releasing straight down the middle. Hey, it's something BC couldn't do. They couldn't get into the end zone. So,
that's true.
You know, Connecticut take a little bit of measure of pride in the fact that they were able to put points on the board.
And I'm sure Dan Orlovsky will look back on that and say, hey, I threw a touchdown pass, and Tommy Collins, I caught one. Collins, a Florida guy from Jacksonville, caught one in the Orange Bowl against the #1 team. It was funny because there was a piece on national TV this morning about following the Connecticut kids around all week. in the David versus Goliath scenario, and they came out for their walkthrough at the Orange Bowl, and they were all kind of wide-eyed and, wow, this is something. I can't believe I'm actually playing here, you know. So a nice moment for Orlovsky and Collins.
Well, see, he's calling Mom, saying, hey, Mom, I threw a TD pass against the Canes. No, really.
Really, I did.
You could see it on ESPN. It's the only highlight we've had all game. He's done a nice job of standing in there, though.
UConn scoring drive, 6 plays, 65 yards, 3 minutes and 26 seconds. Mark Hickok will kick it off. Jason Gathers and Jared Payton back for Miami. Miami led this one 42-0 at halftime. Willis McGahee over 100 yards and 3 touchdowns. This will go to Gathers at the goal line. And flipped head over heels. Beautiful tackle by Jason De La Selva.
He's done it on both ends. He's returned a couple nice kicks, and here he comes down and just upends Gathers for a nice open field tackle.
That's great special teams play. I love to see the guys sell out on special teams.
Watch it right here. Coming right, going to take him right out at the knees. Boom. Russian judge would give that about a 4-5. A little tough on landing. Didn't quite stick it.
The Russian judge, or the French judge, would have given the ball to Connecticut. First down for Derek Crudup in the Canes offense. They'll mark it at the 19-yard line. Make it Jared Payton with the football. Tries to bounce outside and barely gets back to the line of scrimmage. No gain. Lazul Wallace, number 43, the middle linebacker. Senior out of Hicksville, New York, making the tackle, and will count it down to the end of the third period of play. After 3 quarters at the Orange Bowl, Miami 48, University of Connecticut 7. Larry Coker's team in cruise control as they get ready for Florida State next week. We'll be back with the fourth quarter on Fox Sports Net after this. Find out why NASCAR is America's fastest growing spectator sport each weeknight on Totally NASCAR. From the driver's seat to the final lap, no one covers racing like Fox Sports Net. If you have a need for speed, tune in to Totally NASCAR weeknights at 6 on Fox Sports Net. Frank Fort and Dave Heffernan with you from the Orange Bowl as we begin the fourth quarter, and Derek Crudup scrambling around trying to make a play. Picking up a couple of blocks, still looking to throw, finally throws, incomplete and out of bounds, and penalty flags down. I believe Joel Rodriguez was downfield illegally. Both flags at the 25-yard line, which is 5 yards past the line of scrimmage.
Well, when your quarterback runs around that much, you're not sure what he's doing. That's exactly what the call is. Crudup showing a lot of agility, though.
12 seconds into the fourth quarter. Miami will be hit with a penalty. Hey, last year, Derek would have run the ball. I'm not sure he shouldn't have taken off there.
Well, that's one of the hardest things when you've got a quarterback that has the ability to run like Derek is you want to take that out of him a little bit, but you don't want to shut him down all the way. And sometimes all of a sudden it goes too hard one way. They say, well, then I'll become a passing quarterback, and then they never run. And you want to have that balance in there, and that's ultimately what you're looking for.
Connecticut declining the penalty to bring up a 3rd and 10. Crudup gives it on the draw to Payton, and he's taken down by Razul Wallace for a loss of 3.
Well, I saw Art Kehoe during the quarter changeover talking to these guys, and he's getting in their face a little bit because this is not what you want to see. And even though it's your second-team offensive lineman in there, you don't want to see that kind of drop-off where you're not moving the ball and you're losing yardage.
So Freddie Capshaw into punt for the first time tonight.
Now, there's Art right there, and you know he's going to come over to those guys, have a little chat on the sideline.
Cliff Hill will be back to receive the Capshaw punt. And it's blocked.
Yep.
And Connecticut will score. Number 24, Ezra Carey, picking up the loose football, and some loose play by the Hurricanes on special teams.
Well, I can promise you there's never a good time for that, but the week before the Florida State game, you don't want to let Florida State see where breakdowns are and punts and stuff being blocked. I mean, this is the kind of stuff you can't have happen.
DeJuan Black blocked the punt, and Ezra Carey picked it up for the touchdown. That's the second punt Miami's had blocked this year. Well, you're right. You don't want to see that kind of loose play, even though it's the fourth quarter and you're in the lead. Hickok's extra point is up and good, and it's 48-14 with 14:04 left to go here in the fourth quarter. So we'll take a timeout. Once again, Black with the block. Ezra Carey comes up with the fumble, or with the block, runs it back 5 yards for a touchdown. .14:04 left to go, fourth quarter at the Orange Bowl, and much to Randy Edsall's UConn Huskies credit, they have not quit in this game. Down 48-0, they've come back and scored 2 touchdowns. And the last one on a special teams breakdown by Miami.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about moral victories and everything else, and that's certainly not what you want to walk out of. But when you do come down, you take a team like this in the David and Goliath scenario, there is something positive you can take with these kids to build on for the remainder of this season and next in years to come, is to say, look, we went down, we played them, we stood toe-to-toe, and, you know, we did a couple of good things with them.
Short kickoff. Jared Payton at the 17. Has a hole at the 30.
It's coming
and
back.
And a flag down.
You got a block in the back.
You know, I'm going to get picky here, Dave, but as good as athletes as Miami has, with the exception of maybe the Tremaine Mack years here, they've never been very good at returning kickoffs.
Yeah, and it seems each time we do, they come back. But you're right. It's surprising that they haven't had more breakaways on the kickoffs. Punts have been outstanding. We've always had great punt returners over the last few years, but you're right. We've not had a guy.
Holding on the return team, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
We'll bring it back to roughly the Miami 20-yard line. They'll start 1st and 10, negating a good Jared Payton return. But, you know, again, Tremaine Mack was terrific at kickoff returns, and the punt returns, like you said, have been great. But with the athletes Miami has, I'm kind of surprised they're not better at returning kickoffs.
Yeah, and I don't have an answer as to why not, but it's a good point.
Well, Don Solinger, who's the special teams coordinator, clearly has some work to do before next week, because you can't afford to get punts blocked against Florida State. On a 1st and 10, Crudup on a rollout, being chased. Gets the throw away, and it is nearly picked off.
Yeah, that almost made things really bad because, and again, here's a kid that wants to make something happen while he's got his playing time, but he's getting wrapped up, absolutely going to force this ball, and he's lucky it doesn't wind up going for a 3rd Connecticut touchdown.
Intended for Eric Winston, Jamal Lundy broke it up.
Well, here they're going to naked boot it, but these guys just don't bite on it. They do a nice job, and then he just forces this ball. Very, very lucky that this doesn't get picked and taken to the house.
Pressure by Greg Smoot, number 55, and Rasul Wallace, number 43.
Smoot, one of the few seniors they've got up, doing a nice job.
This is Jared Payton. He'll pick up 2. Terrence Smith, the safety, coming up to make the tackle at the 22-yard line. Well, this second group of the Miami offense has not been very effective. A couple of nice throws by Crudup to Jala and Ryan Moore.
But that's been about it. They've not been able to do anything on the ground. And that was the thing that the first unit has done so successfully. It's just pounded out on the ground. Did everything they wanted to do in this group. Now has been pretty inept as far as trying to move the ball.
Play clock already down to 7. 3rd and 8 as Crudup hurries him up to the line of scrimmage. He's going to need to take a timeout. Now they get the play off. Now Crudup try to run for the first down. Man flipped at the 25-yard line by Maurice Lloyd. Gain of 3, but it'll be a 4th down in a punting situation.
Well, again, you know, you've got poor clock management there. They're hurrying to get that play off. It doesn't allow him to look at different options that he's got. And then he winds up pulling it down, picking up some yardage, but nowhere close enough for the first down.
So Capshaw, whose last punt was blocked, is in there to kick again. Cliff Hill back at the Connecticut 32. High snap from Fanagrassi, and Freddie has to side-foot it out there. Gets away a pretty nice kick, and it's going to take a good Miami roll out at the Connecticut 27-yard line. We'll take a timeout. 12 minutes, 12 seconds left to go here in the football game at the Orange Bowl. It's Miami 48, Connecticut 14. We'll be right back on Fox Sports. Each weeknight, watch as comedy and sports collide. Join Tom Arnold and his roundtable of sports fans for a night of complete insanity. Watch the best damn sports show, period, weeknights at 8 and 10, right here on Fox Sports Net. Karan Henry into quarterback Connecticut, and Karan Henry keeps the football, picks up a block, and gets out to the 34-yard line.
Henry's a guy that they've rotated in a few times. He's more of an option quarterback, and as a matter of fact, they would put him in certain goal line situations to run the option. You get a chance to see it right here, the ability of him to run the option. Not big passing numbers, 3 of 9 for 47 yards. He's much more of a threat on the ground.
Picked up 6. Greg Threet made the tackle for the Hurricanes. 2nd and 4 for Connecticut. Chris Bellamy and Deion Anderson in the eye behind Karan Henry. Play action. Henry will roll out. Under pressure from Jamal Green, who makes the sack. Back at the 25-yard line. 2nd sack of the night for Jamal Green.
He rolled out right into Jamal Green, who was coming hard on the outside on that, and nowhere to go when he gets out there.
Loss of 8 yards.
Take a look at it here. He just reverse pivots and then brings this thing out. And when he does, there's Jamal Green waiting for him. Does a nice job of wrapping him up and getting him on the ground.
Henry, a 6'2", 213-pound sophomore from Brooklyn, New York. And there is Jamal Green, a Camden, New Jersey guy. So it'll bring up 3rd and 12 for the Huskies from their own 26. And McDougal jumped offside, but was there movement along Connecticut's front? $10 minutes, 41 seconds remaining here in the 4th quarter.
Now, that's one of the things Jerome McDougal does. He's got the best jump probably of anybody in college.
Dead ball, delay, offense.
Delay of game.
He was looking at the clock because what he was doing, he went when it hit 0. He said, hey, I can go.
There is Jerome.
Right.
Engaging young man. A lot of fun to be around.
He is, and he's nightmarish for tackles because of the speed he's got. That first step getting upfield is just near impossible for an offensive tackle to be able to set back on him.
3rd and 17 now for Connecticut after the 5-yard penalty. Henry under center. Throws to the near sideline, incomplete, looking for Hill. And he was covered by Glenn Sharp. Penalty flag in the backfield, and we may get a roughing the passer, which is a completely unnecessary penalty at this stage of the game.
It was. Hill was looking for flag downfield, but it wasn't going to come. I mean, they were just bumping going downfield. But
Roughing the passer on the defense. 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic 1st down.
this is the kind of stuff that'll make Larry Coker and his staff nuts, because you don't want to see your team get sloppy at the end of the game. They came out, they did everything they wanted, and all of a sudden then they can't move the ball offensively. They give up the block punt. Now you get foolish penalties, and that's really just, those are the kind of things you don't, even if it's second and third teamers, you don't want to see that happen.
It's just plain sloppiness. It's a lack of concentration. I mean, you're getting a chance to play. You got to go out and show the coaches that you can perform, even though the game's won and it's in the bag. You don't want to see sloppy play. That's all there is to it.
Absolutely.
From the 36, 1st and 10 for the Huskies. Henry kept the football and got leverage on the outside. And Threet takes him down, but a pickup of 9 yards out to the 45-yard line.
Very, very nice play fake on that. He sells it hard. Gets everybody to bite enough inside, and then takes it right around the corner.
10 minutes and the clock moving here in the 4th quarter. In actuality, Connecticut has outscored Miami in this second half, 14-6.
There you go. Watch the play fake there, and then he just takes it outside. Of course, a little bit of holding going on.
By the tight end,
exactly.
42, Collins.
Just a little bit.
Had a pretty good grip on Jamal Green.
Spinning him around. That's one way to make sure you get the outside. 2nd
and 1. Henry out of the shotgun. Sends Bellamy in motion, empty backfield. Quarterback draw. And he'll pick up the first down to midfield. Vince Wilfork made the tackle. And Connecticut will move the chains with 9:26 left to go. That's one thing I'm kind of amazed at. As good as Miami's defensive line is, Dave, they don't get holding called very much on other offensive lines. And I don't know whether it's just the officials letting them go, because Miami does get so much pressure and they do get sacks. They figure, just let them play a little bit.
We're going to even it up a little.
Very few holding penalties called against opposing offensive lines. I find that astounding. And Vince Wilfork jumps the gun.
Well, Vince was going to go take the snap, that's all. We talked about it before. In Pop Warner, he was a quarterback, so I figured he might get over there and get a snap. Scary how quick he can move.
Yeah, it is.
Illegal contact in the neutral zone, 5 yards.
Of course, the beauty of that is when you're 350 plus, when you jump, it's not like, you see those quick ends, they jump and they get back. Well, Vince just jumped and kept going into the backfield because there was no way he was going to make it back over.
Once you get 340 pounds in motion, it's hard to put the brakes on.
I got to stay here.
1st and 5. Crowd in the line of scrimmage. And here they come on the blitz. Deion Anderson got the football and picked up 2 yards. Jamal Green and Roger McIntosh combining on the tackle. Gain was 2. That'll bring up a 2nd and 3. The 1st and 5 situation. 8 minutes, 30 seconds left to go here in the 4th quarter.
Connecticut would like to just continue to let this clock run the 25-second clock down each time and see if they can get out of here.
Well, to be honest, Miami's kind of been in cruise control since they scored on their first possession of the second half to make it 48-0. And since then, it's been kind of like lackluster play.
Yeah, but you had your first group do what you wanted. They came right out and went right down the field in a nice, long, sustained drive.
Henry with play action and rolling to the near side. Tucks it down, and he'll go down at the 48-yard line. Daryl McClover, number 49, the backup linebacker, gets credit for the sack.
He got credit for the ride. McClover came over and jumped onto Henry's back. Henry almost ran with him.
Loss of 6 yards on the sack, first of his career by McClover.
You see him here. Henry will duck under. Watch this. Whoops.
And then McClover got a lot of help.
Yeah, a lot of orange on top of that one.
Here's Daryl out of Coconut Creek High School in Broward County. And that'll bring up a 3rd and about 9 from the Miami 48. Anderson, the fullback, gets to the 45. Jamal Green and Howard Clark, numbers 45 and 55, make the tackle after a gain of 3.
He's a tough kid for a true freshman. He's headed up there hard on Miami, and you see the effort there.
Jamal Green with a couple of sacks tonight, raising his season total to 3. And we're under 7 minutes to go. Connecticut will go for it. 4th and a little more than 5. They have to reach inside the Miami 40 for a first down. Ron Henry, the quarterback. Collins, the tight end, in motion. Henry throws incomplete on the near side, intended for Brandon Young, covered by Antrell Roll, and Miami will take over on downs at their 45-yard line. 6 minutes, 25 seconds left in the 4th quarter here at the Orange Bowl. It's Miami 48, Connecticut 14. We'll be right back on Fox Sports Net. .6:25 to go, 4th quarter here on Fox Sports Net. Miami leads Connecticut 48-14. Frank Fort, Dave Heffernan with you as the Canes take over on downs at their own 45-yard line. Derek Crudup remains the quarterback. Gave it to Jason Gathers. Gathers gets about 3.
Larry Coker got this whole second group offense together before they were going back out on the field. Had a little animated discussion, I'm sure, telling them, hey, let's put this together. Let's get a drive together. You haven't done anything. Let's see some improvement on this second team group. We're evaluating all of this. When we got the win, that means nothing right now. Now let's look at what we can do as a unit.
Ryan Bushy, defensive tackle, junior out of Manchester, Connecticut, making the last tackle for the Huskies. 2nd and 7. Sonoris Moss in motion. And again, it's Gathers. Gets to midfield into Connecticut territory and close to a first down at the Connecticut 45. Jamal Lundy making the tackle.
Jason doing a nice job of running again. Not big creases, but finding just enough and picking and choosing his holes well to pick up a first down for Miami.
Clock stops momentarily as they reset the first down chains. 5:41 to go. It was 48-0 Miami early in the 3rd quarter. 42-zip at the half. Ken Dorsey came out, led him on a 5-minute drive to open the 3rd quarter, and first unit offense got the rest of the night off. Crudup made a couple of nice throws, one to Akeem Jalla, one to Ryan Moore, but other than that, the Canes have struggled to move the ball, and of course you mentioned the sloppiness on special teams. Crudup under some pressure, throwing out of bounds, intended for Jalla, covered by Marlon Jones.
That'll give you just a little glimpse, though, of Derek Crudup's arm strength. as he is rolling to his right, kind of throws it off his back foot, but you see how strong he is.
Jamal Lundy holding his right leg down for Connecticut at the Miami 45-yard line. So the UConn training staff will take a look at it.
That's the one thing you don't want to see if you're Randy Edsall and this staff is you come down here, you don't want to get your guys hurt. And Lundy is a senior linebacker for these guys, very important player. We talked about him tonight. He's had a couple of big plays for them. The last thing you want to do is see somebody get a serious injury coming out of this.
Well, Miami was never threatened in this game. They took control of this game right from the start. But if you're going to nitpick, and if you're Larry Coker, that's your job, you're concerned about the sloppiness on special teams, getting a punt blocked in a 48-7 game where a guy comes right up the middle. You're playing Florida State next week. That can be fatal.
Yeah, you're playing Florida State. You're playing Virginia Tech down the road. Those are the things that you don't want that tape being analyzed and picked apart to figure out how it happened.
And Miami's had 2 punts blocked this season. They have the other one up at Florida. So I think that's an area of concern that they really have to look at. And what are they doing wrong in those situations? Are they getting schemed or are they getting beat physically?
Right, and that's something they've got to take a long, hard look at. But you talked about him coming out and controlling, and the reason is real simple. See, because Larry Coker gave the quote earlier of the week. He said, the Knights of the Round Table are out there trying to turn your dragons loose in your castle, so you have to protect that. Of course, I'm not sure what that meant, but no, you know, I mean.
And again, Miami's never been threatened in this game, but little red flags go up for the future that you want to correct. On 2nd and 10, Crudup tried to throw to Humphrey to lead Humphrey, the fullback, and threw it at his feet, incomplete.
They haven't been threatened, but one of the things I think that Larry Coker wanted to establish, and he used Nebraska in the past as an example of that, is, you know, it didn't matter who they were playing. They came out and they pounded them, and they were up 40-0 at halftime, and the game was over. Miami historically has had where they've looked at teams and they've almost played to the level of competition. They struggle in the first half, and okay, and they get the win, and it looks okay, but they didn't come out in control. Tonight, they came out and set that tempo.
First group was exceptionally sharp. The first group was excellent. 3rd and long for Miami from the Connecticut 45. Blitz coming. Crudup unloads and incomplete. Threw it behind Jala at the 30-yard line. And Derrick hit the deck.
Yeah, well, he had a lot of pressure coming, and you know, this unit, Larry Coker talked to him. They picked it up. They got 1 first down, and then they totally stalled.
So Freddie Capshaw will come onto the field. Cliff Hill back to receive the punt.
Talking about Freddie. Freddie did such a nice job last time on that snap. And he's done this a couple times this year. He's very athletic, and he's saved some bad snaps and still gotten off good kicks.
Chris Harvey now into snap. Fanagrassi was out there the last snap. Perfect snap from Harvey. Capshaw hangs it high. Hill signals fair catch. He'll let it hit at the 5 and bounces into the end zone for a touchback. 45 yards on the punt, 25 on the net. And with under 5 minutes to go, 4:56, UConn will take over at their 20-yard line. So a big first half by the Canes. A little bit of a lackluster second half after the first unit got out of there. As I said, Dorsey took the opening kickoff of the second half, moved right down the field, ate up 5+ minutes, and there was nothing more that first unit could do.
Well, and that's exactly what you wanted to see. You came in at halftime and said, okay, put your first group in there, see what they can do. They chewed up clock, they ran it all the way down the field, and then, you know, they turned it over to the second unit, and as you said, it's been kind of ugly since, and actually UConn's outscored it.
Third quarterback of the night, Jermel Williams, in for the Huskies. This is Chandler Poole. He'll pick up about 3 yards. Dorian Harris there on the tackle, along with Leon Williams, the highly touted linebacker, number 44 out of Brooklyn, New York. Jermel Williams out of Hollywood, Florida.
Leon Williams, a kid a lot of people asked about, you know, what he's going to be like because he was so highly touted and you haven't heard much about him, but I think he's going to be a whale of a ball player.
This quarterback out of MacArthur High in Hollywood. And you look at Ken Dorsey, who had a very nice night before he took the pads off.
19 of 26 for 216 and 3 touchdowns. Not a bad work.
And that came early in the third quarter. Williams loading up for his first throw of the night and dropped by Phil Dyson, his wide receiver, at the 25-yard line. Daryl McClover had the coverage. They'll bring up 3rd and 7. Well, Miami now will run their winning streak to 27 and their Orange Bowl winning streak to 19. Just adding on a couple more numbers. When Miami scores first since 1983, they're now going to be 158-14. How's that for a number when you score first?
Not a bad number. And of course, Larry Coker remains undefeated.
3rd and 7 for the Huskies. Chandler Poole goes in motion. Weaver on a quarterback draw. Look at Jamel Williams, and he slides down at the 34-yard line. That'll be enough for a first down. Gain of 11. Now Marshall there to cover him. And the clock stops momentarily at 4:03. Well, Miami broke one streak tonight. They hadn't scored on their opening drive of the game until tonight through their first 4 games. But they now have scored touchdowns on their opening drive of the second half 4 out of 5 games. First down from the 34. Williams out of the shotgun. Big rush coming, and Daryl McClover has his 2nd sack of the night.
And if he didn't, there were 4 other guys behind him. Miami bringing them all.
So McClover coming up with his first 2 career sacks tonight.
You're going to see a lot of orange coming to the screen right here. Nice job by McClover.
Loss was 6. Up to the 29-yard line.
Well, we got to see if Larry Coker can continue this, because if he can run it to 28-0, he'll break Walter Camp's record, which goes back to the 1988 season, or 1888 season.
Draw play coming up. Chandler Poole, and Leon Williams takes him down at the 31-yard line. Gain of only 2. Nice play by the redshirt freshman linebacker Leon Williams. Hasn't had a lot of playing time this year with the exception of special teams. But he is quite a physical specimen and a good backup to Jonathan Vilma. They think this kid can be very, very special.
Well, and it's a great way for him to learn when you got a guy like Vilma where you can put Williams behind him, let him play a little bit, and watch a guy like Vilma play. He's going to be a great ball player.
Mark it at the 32. It's 3rd and 13. Then Miami coming on a blitz. Williams chased by McClover. He's going to put it down and run, and gets up to the 38-yard line where Sean Taylor takes him down. A gain of about 7 yards, but well short of a first down.
Running for his life is what he's doing. You know, well, you got the pursuit coming behind you. He just got no chance when you got that kind of pursuit to ever stop and throw the ball, because he knows they're right behind him. So he does the only thing he can is put it down. And then, of course, he's got to come out and go head-to-head with Sean Taylor, which is not a fun task.
Roscoe Parrish going to go back to receive the Adam Cole's punt.
This could get the remaining few fans we've got on their feet.
Roscoe had one nice return tonight, but it was called back because of a penalty. Low line drive kick toward the near side, hits at the Miami 30 and rolls out of bounds at the 29-yard line. So with 1:26 to go, that's where the Canes will take over, 1st and 10. Mark it at the 29. Larry Coker's crew will move to 5-0, and the big showdown coming up next week against Florida State. And Dave, right now, kind of hard to get a read on Florida State because they lost the one game at Louisville, and Clemson played them tough on a Thursday night game and really gave away that game on special teams.
Oh, absolutely, but you know the one thing is it doesn't matter whether they're undefeated, whether they've got losses or not. Florida State coming in town, it'll be the atmosphere initially is going to be just warlike.
Here's the freshman quarterback Mark Gillen, and he's going to put up a pass attempt. Throws complete to Brandon Siebold, his first catch in an official game as a Miami Hurricane. That's good enough for a first down.
I'm not going to put up a pass attempt, but a very nice pass completion. This kid's impressive. We've only seen him a couple times this year, but out of Dorsey's high school, and this is a kid that Dorsey says, hey, he's better than I am.
Brandon Siebold, who caught a touchdown pass in the spring game, that's his first catch in a real ball game that counts. Just outside the 42-yard line of Miami, and the left tackle, Rashad Butler, moved prematurely.
Somehow I think when Art Kehoe reviews the film, he's not going to say, Mr. Butler, you moved prematurely. I just don't think that's going to be his choice of words when they break that one down.
You're probably right about that.
Those meetings are interesting with Artie and the offensive lineman.
It would probably be something more along the lines of, what the bleep are you thinking?
Exactly.
Well, 1st and 15. Clock restarts. 46 seconds and counting here in the football game. Gillen again will throw. Down the middle, incomplete. Threw it behind Siebel.
I mean, I know you've got a freshman in here and you want to give him a little bit of chance, but I got to wonder now why he's throwing the ball. You know, at 48-14, just let this run out. Hand the ball off a few times and we're out of here.
You have a late dinner? Is that what you're...
Well, I got plans, you know. I got to go, you know. I mean...
2nd and 15.
Give the kid his due, but we can get out of here.
Ken Dorsey looking at his fellow graduate of Miramonte High School in Orinda, California.
Just starting to count down till noon next Saturday.
Exactly right. And Gillen again dumps it off to Talib Humphrey, who cannot escape the tackle.
Got a flag down as well. I think we're going to have a hold.
Gain was only a yard. Alfred Fincher. And it's a hold on Miami. Well, I think Art Kehoe is going to have a lot to talk about with this second unit offensive line. First group, you've got to be pretty happy with, but this second unit, I think Art's going to have a lot to talk about in their meeting.
Yeah, it's been ugly.
On the offense, penalty is declined. 3rd down.
It's been ugly, and I know it's a wholesale substitution. You're not just putting guys in here and there, but you want to be able to have that group play well. I mean, they practice together and everything else. You want to see them play well, and they have not put anything together with any consistency. See Art scowling the sidelines there. He's going to be happy with the victory, but he's going to have some choice words for some of these young guys.
20 seconds and the clock moving, so this might be our final play if it's a running play. Gillen gives it to Payton, who picks up a couple of yards, tripped up by Lundy, and that should do it. So the Hurricanes build a 42-0 halftime lead and then kind of put it in cruise control in the second half. They led it 48-0. The final is 48-14. Larry Coker and Randy Edsel, and they should see more of each other in the future when UConn becomes a Big East member. Miami 48, UConn 14. We'll be back to wrap it up from the Orange Bowl right after this on Fox Sports Net.
You know the athletes.
Bowl, the number 1 ranked Miami Hurricanes 48, the Connecticut Huskies 14. Frank Fort and Dave Heffernan with you. And the Canes just did what they had to do tonight. They rolled it up in the first half and then cruised home to their 5th victory against no losses. The game summary: well, Andre Johnson had a nice night. He did not score a touchdown. Willis McGahee had 3 touchdowns, 11 carries for 107 yards. You see Dorsey's night, Dave, pretty effective.
Very effective, and they've talked about him. But the bottom line, look at the total offense. I mean, they were able to pile it up. They did everything they wanted to offensively, and that's really what you're looking for, especially coming off an off week. You want to come out, you want to look sharp. You got your number 1 rival rolling into town next Saturday. All
right, we'll be back with a final word from the Orange Bowl right after this. The Hurricanes take care of business against UConn. Canes win it 48-14. Back with a final word on Fox Sports Net after this. At the Orange Bowl, where Miami beats Connecticut 48-14. Really not quite that close. It was 42-0 at halftime, 48-0 after Ken Dorsey led a touchdown drive early in the 3rd quarter. Then the first unit offense took the rest of the night off. A little bit of sloppy play from the second group offensively and a block punt on special teams, which will give Don Solinger and Larry Coker something to work on this week as they get ready for Florida State. So it all sets up Miami undefeated number 1 going against the Seminoles next week, Dave.
That's right. Enough about all that. Now we can talk about Florida State, right? The coaches, all the comments, we're not looking past anybody. Now it's time to focus on Florida State. And, you know, we talked about it. I don't know where Florida State is right now. They're obviously still a talented team, but the loss to Louisville, a bad game against Clemson that very easily could have been lost. But you know they're going to come in here very motivated, because the way for them to redeem their season, knock off the number 1 team in the country.
Again, 3 touchdowns from Willis McGahee, 3 touchdown passes from Ken Dorsey, 2 of those to Kevin Beard, and a defensive touchdown by Andrew Williams, accounting for the 7 Miami TDs. Thanks for joining us here at the Orange Bowl. Catch more Hurricanes football October 13th, 5 o'clock. For a replay of the game, we're talking about the Hurricanes in Florida State. Coming up next, Beyond the Glory with Gary Sheffield. My partner Dave Heffernan, I'm Frank Fort, saying goodbye. Once again, the final score, Miami 48, UConn 14. So long, everyone.